Hello guys, welcome back to Spoken Essays. I am Harshal Vora and let's begin with, and the weather is very the weather is very out there today, and let's begin with our new episode of freeCodeCamp course where we will learn HTML CSS. Let's pick up from where we left off the last time. So stay tuned guys and follow me from here on. Okay, so we have, last time we finished the city skyline. We created a city skyline that was very good. I can see that you guys are looking at the wrong thing. Maybe my display is stuck again. Just a second guys. I'll have to do some things with the OBS again. I think yes. Now my display is it looks exactly what I wanted it to look like. So let's begin. So where is this? So we were on main. Yes, great. So we are back to the main tab. Sorry about that. A few things needed to be fixed. So the last time we set the skyline, and you can see here, this is what we built. And you can see that if I want to open, so this is what we built. That is very cool. And you can see that shade is just amazing. That shade is amazing too. And this is what we built. And you can see that is some good stuff. And if we want to see the daylight, then let's change it to daylight ISO. Okay, we won't be able to change the daylight for now, but this is some next level stuff, man. So that's what we built the last time. Let's close this too. So now we're going to build what we call a magazine. So now we're going to build a magazine, and as you can see here, this has 80 steps. So it's a lot less than the city skyline, than SKT skyline, but doesn't matter. We can finish this. And I think after this magazine, we will also wait a second. Yes. So after the magazine, we will also build a Ferris wheel, and it says it will only take 29 steps. But for the first time, we'll learn CSS animation. So let's find out how long it really takes, even if it says 29 steps, and the same when it says 80 steps. So without wasting more time, let's begin the project. So what does this say? Learn CSS grid by building a magazine. CSS grid gives you control over rows and columns of your page. You probably use divs. CSS grid gives you control over the rows and columns of your web page design. Yes. And we'll also use a table head, table row, and in this course you'll build a magazine article. You'll learn how to use CSS grid, including concepts like grid, rows and columns. So the last time we used HTML to set up grids. Now maybe we'll learn how to set up CSS grids. So instead of that, we'll use CSS grids. That's all learning for us. So let's find out. Let us begin with the project. So this is the preview, of course. So the preview is this. We have, for the first thing we have is the logo, and you can see from the left and the right side we have this. So the color must be a green background, and this is a div. Probably ये div बनाने में इतना time नहीं जाएगा. Like we're literally setting it up to the top. So we'll set the display value to flex, and we'll make it top, absolute, whatever. Then we have this, our new curriculum, that is text, and that is a new font. So I think we're going to play with a lot of fonts with this magazine thing. And what else does it say? So our efforts to restructure, that is a different font, we'll use CSS to apply those fonts probably. Then we have the Facebook links, so icons and their links. These links look they're also using SVGs for those links: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn and YouTube. And it says by freeCodeCamp. And then we have the date. This was March 2019 whenever this was built. Then we have justify. And this is justify. The justify is different. This is the justify setting for the text. And then we have this, the entire curriculum should be a series of projects. Then that we have something in quotes. we probably, where will we get this text from? I don't know. What does this say? So it is someone's article about what? Soon the freeCodeCamp curriculum will be 100% project driven learning. Instead of a series of coding challenges, you learn through building projects step by step. Before we get into the details, let me emphasize, so this is a paper, maybe this is someone speaking about freeCodeCamp experience, the freeCodeCamp experience. Then it will tell us the brief history, so version 1 in 2014 of the curriculum, what did the curriculum look like. Then we have this in image, that's a container, and that container has some padding. And then we have another container, that container has a radius, maybe 1-2 pixels. Then inside this, that is an image. Never mind, we don't need to do anything, we'll just put this image in a div and then put it. Great. Then we have different divs, probably this will be a different div, this will be a different div. But I would like to see how they put the text aligned to justify. Is it only that? Let us see. But it's only 80 steps, nothing to worry about. Then when I drag it, I'll know whether this is an image. Yeah, this is an image. This was not built using CSS. This is text that is also built using CSS. इसको border property दी होगी, top and bottom border की values रख दी होगी. This is a solid border. And lastly we have this image. Is this an image? Let us find out. That may or may not be an image. Yes, it is an image. Then, and that's it. So that's what we're going to build. We're going to build a page that looks like this. We're going to build a magazine. Now they haven't given us the boilerplate text this time, so we're going to put a declaration. So doc type, then doctype, and in lowercase HTML and close. And of course we have to mention the exclamation mark. They added a declaration. Then of course we have to mention that this HTML document is in English, so lang attribute will be given and it will have the value English. And then we close the tag. Then what do we do next? So of course we add the closing HTML argument, not the argument, the tag. Then we mention the head and the body elements, so that will also be easy. We will just copy, paste. Then we'll also add a few meta tags. So let me just quickly add the body tag first, so we can get that over with. So body copy and paste, and we'll put that /. Now inside the head element we will also add the meta tag. Meta tag is a self-closing tag. So char set equals double quotes UTF-8, and we close this tag. And we also add a meta tag that will put the mobile responsiveness. So we'll also put this. So meta. Then we give it the name attribute, viewport. Then we give it the content attribute. Sorry, this will be so width, based on width will be the device -width, whatever the device width is, and initial scale will be 1.0. And that's where the meta tag ends. Name, viewport, content with device with initial scale 1. We've been doing this for quite some time now, so I've gotten used to writing this. I just have this in the back of my head, and we can go to the next step, I believe. Let's just read the step again before we do anything. So begin with your standard HTML boilerplate. That is the boilerplate. We add a doc type declaration, that is HTML. Then we add an HTML element specifying this page is in English, which is lang attribute. So lang, not lng. Then a head element and a body element, yes. Then inside the head element we add a meta tag, which will have the char set to UTF-8, and meta tag for mobile responsiveness, which is the name attribute and the content attribute. In the content attribute we have width is set to the device of the width, whatever the width of the device is. Then we have initial, the spelling of initial is correct, initial hyphen space 1.0, and the tag closes on itself. We don't have a closing tag for meta or both the meta tags, they are self-closing tags like I said. Then we have the closing head tag, and then we have the body and the closing body tag, and then we have the closing HTML tag. Good to go. And we have the something's wrong, maybe I cannot see the green light, but we have passed the test. Maybe the page needs to load itself. Yeah, the page needed to reload. Anyway, let me save my progress here. My code was saved to the browser's local storage. I can refresh, and yeah, I'll just refresh so that it looks much better. But because of this, now I cannot see the second line somehow, so let me refresh the page again. Yes, now it is much better. Now it looks better. I can see the second line now, and I can also see the third, fourth, fifth, sixth line. Cool. Now we go to so what does the second step say? Add a title element with the text magazine. So inside head we'll also give it a title element and a link element for this, so that we can call this Baskerville element, Baskerville, and font style sheet. Okay, and a link for this font awesome, probably for a few CSS styles, and a link for the styles.css file. Your font style sheet will load 3 separate fonts: Anton, Baskerville, and Railway. And we can see here Anton, Baskerville, and Railway, and that's all done using fonts.google.com. Okay, so now we go to the next step. I'll add the title element. The title element closes the closing title argument element, and in the title we'll write magazine. This won't be visible because we're not editing anything in the body tag so far. And we'll add a link element. So link element, command set, enter. Link is a self-closing tag. We'll mention the relationship, rel attribute, and the relationship is style sheet, then style sheet, and then we also put the href, href's value will be this, so https:// and from here till here, and then we paste it. Oh, that is some long text. Let me scroll up so you guys can see. So this is what I have been writing, and let me scroll so font style sheet, yeah, that is also a font style sheet. If I open that link in a new tab, you will be able to see that this is a font style sheet. You can see add font face, then add font face, so we are loading another style sheet. So what else? So then a link element for this font style sheet, a link for this style sheet. For this font awesome style sheet, we'll probably use a few icons from there. So let me close this. I'll use the formatting that I've used. Let me close the preview for now. We're not doing anything with it for the moment. And and I'll press the click here again, and instead of this link we will change the link to this link. So let me scroll right from HTTPS to CSS, copy, and I will paste it from href to swap. Oh, sorry, I should not have deleted the code. Yep, and we have this link now that is also linked as a style sheet. Now we scroll up and read the further text. So add a link for your styles.css style sheet. So what I'll do is I'll also copy this. Great, we have one viewer. What does it say? So we have top chat and live chat. Hello, one viewer. So we'll also link that. Just give me a second. I will copy this link and I'll paste it. And what does this say? So we will link a styles.css file. So what I can do is I can leave that .css and I'll write /styles .styles.css. You can see that. Oh, now you can see it. I'm sorry about that. So this is the, I copied this line and I pasted it here, and instead of rewriting everything, I will only overwrite over this. So what I'll do is I'll write what it said. I am going to link it this way. I'm going to put this text. So I just need to copy this much, and in here I'll paste it. So now I don't need to write .css again. Now it says, what does it say? So your font style sheet will load three separate fonts: Anton, Basker, WVIL and Railway. So what do they look like? So Anton font, let's see. This is what Anton font looks like. Maybe we'll look at a few images. So this is what the Anton font looks like. This is what we will use as a title, probably for the title. Then we have Baskerville. I'm sure you must have come across Baskerville before. So Baskerville. Then we have Baskerville font. This is what Baskerville font looks like. And we had the third one, that is Railway. Railway is quite common. I think we'll use Railway to quote people's statements. So Railway, that is a lot of sound coming from there. Don't be I apologize. So we have this. Great. So this is what Railway looks like, and I think we are finished for step 2. Let's go to the next step. Good stuff. I can see I have a few messages. So guys, just why don't you hang on to the music and let me see what is going on over there. Hello guys, welcome back. Sorry about that. I was checking a few messages from Casey Kushagra, and he just mentioned that we have another channel. They have set up another channel, so they helped me set up this channel, of course. And you can see in the previous videos we also had Yogen sir in them. So let me just share that channel with you guys. Maybe it's not in here. Let me see. Just give me a second. So let me open this in here. So you know what, youtube.com/@spokenessays. So in here, of course, this is the live video that I'm doing right now. And what I'll do is, just give me a second please. So we have someone watching, one person is watching, thank you so much. And we go to the live video. You can see now, okay, you can see that is me doing the learning HTML and CSS using freeCodeCamp. Anyway, and in one of these videos we have the caption. So great. So we have, okay, so great, we have this. I will quickly add this to this video's caption too, and then we can get started. So of course, this is Casey's new channel, guys. Why don't you check it out? Why don't you give him a follow? Why don't you subscribe to his channel? And please follow Yogen sir's channel too. You know what, I will also link them in my description, and you can check it out for yourselves. मैं edit में डाल देता हूँ. Just give me a second please. So where is it? After scheduling. So let me just go there. So you'll find it below this. This channel supports and is supported by. That is true. Thank you so much, Casey Cat. And why don't we take a look at Casey Cat's video? It's a relatively new channel, I believe. And of course, Yogen sir's channel, you must check it out. I'll also give you a preview of what Yogen sir's channel is like. Wow, so Casey has also been streaming just like me. That is cool. So he works on CAT videos, which is common. I think it's for exams. So CAT exam is, what does it say? So common admission test. So he's also been working on the common admission test videos. So he makes those videos. You can see one view. and you can see that he has been live for some time now. That is great work, Casey. That hats off. And he, just like me, has also been working for some time. You can see that. Great work, Casey. Amazing. And then we have Yogen Sir's channel. He has been publishing and posting regularly for some time now. You can see he has multiple videos from here and there, from his experiences from the 40,000 walk. You can see so many videos. Make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you guys subscribe to both their channels. And with that, let me continue with the freeCodeCamp. Great. So where were we? Just give me a second, please. So we have two concurrent viewers. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And what does this say? So we are on step 3. What does this say? Within your body, we are inside the body element now. Now we're going to start the real stuff. The real stuff, as in the stuff that's going to be in the preview. Well, everything is real. Anyway, in the body element, we will create a main element. So I'll press tab so that it is nested. You notice I pressed tab once. You must have heard that click. Somehow you can hear the tab. You can also hear the sound. But when I pressed tab once, it automatically took me 4 spaces. So it understood कि इसको यहाँ पे लिखना है. So great work. Thank you so much. So within your body, we'll create a main element, and we'll probably add a few sections inside too. And yep, that's true. So then in that element, create a section with a class set to heading. So we'll create a section. I think we're going to use multiple sections for this instead of divs, or I could be wrong. Maybe we could be setting divs inside a section. Let us find out what's true, what is happening. So let me copy that and I'll paste that, and I'll put the closing tag. So now we have the closing section tag, and with it the class value of heading. So heading. Now we have section class heading section. That is step number 3 done. Then we can go to the next step. So this is where we'll put the heading. So whatever content we put in there will be applied to. So maybe हम लोग जो रेलवे, बास्केटबॉल, आई थिंक, और एंटॉन, इन तीनों में से एक फॉन्ट इस पे अप्लाई करने वाले हैं. लेट्स सी. Yeah, now we are on step 4. We are still on the in the index.html file. ये क्या बोल रहा है ये? So within your heading element, create a header element with the class set to hero. So क्या बोल रहा है within your heading element? So dot heading, as in they're referring to the class with the value heading. So within your heading element, create a header element. Okay, इसके अंदर हम लोग बनाएंगे header and with the class set to hero. So let's quickly do that. Set to hero. So that is the hero, and we can also read all of that later. So first, I'll press tab. Pressing tab once moved it to 6 spaces, so it understands that we want to nest it inside. So we'll place this tag. We'll write a heading tag, and heading is not a self-closing tag, so I'll put heading right there, and the class will be set to hero. That must be some publishing jargon. Let's find out. So what is hero in magazine? What will you say? So what is hero? Oh, what is not here? Instead of that, we'll put what is hero in journalism. So the question is, what is hero? Of course, we have hero images, we have this, that. What is a hero in magazine slang, maybe jargon? So what is hero in magazine jargon? Let's find out. Hero, British magazine. Hero is a British magazine. Nope. Hero in magazine layouts. That should work. So what is a hero layout? A hero image is a website design term used to describe an oversized banner image. So yes, I think we're going to create that freeCodeCamp logo first. So that was the hero image, what we saw. The hero image where we saw the freeCodeCamp and it had a border. So that's what we're going to do first, and like it says, it is an oversized image. You can see this. That's do not look at the image. That was a magazine called Hero. Anyway, it is an oversized banner image at the top of the website. That's exactly what we saw in the preview before we started the first step. So that probably has something to do with this. Then what else are we going to do? So in that element, so inside that header element, we are going to create an image element, that is a self-closing element, with the source set to this. So we're going to basically put this image, and you can see this is an 1920 by 1080 indigo image. So of course I can open that image in a new tag, and I can see that it is a hero image of freeCodeCamp. So I think, yeah, we've saved a few steps by not using the SVG and putting a div, but all's well. So, and the alt set to freeCodeCamp logo, and it's all in lowercase, and the class set to hero image. So let's try to write all of that before referring to the text again. This is what we're to do. So we'll set up an image element with the source, this link, then we will write the alt freeCodeCamp logo, and we will also set the class to hero hyphen image. So I think we can do something with it. So image source, oh nope, not be source, source, and this link, and after that we'll put the alt image says equals to double quote freeCodeCamp logo, and out of, yeah, there should be space, yep, alt. And then after that we can also mention the class will say hero hyphen img, hero img, yes, that. And image is a self-closing tag, and you can see that something has appeared, and it is a very large image, so that's why we can only see the color of that image, nothing else. So let me open it in a new tab, and we'll be able to look at it better. Still, that is a very scaled image. Wow. So that is what it looks like. I had to zoom out and not zoom in. So that's the image. I think we'll do something with the styles sheet to edit it. Now moving on to the next paragraph, what does this say? So there is an attribute called loading on an image element that can be set to lazy to tell the browser not to fetch the image to resource until it is needed, as in when the user scrolls the image into view. As in additional, oh, so lazy loading, amazing. So as an additional benefit, lazy loaded elements will not load until the non-lazy elements are loaded. Oh, so it's literally giving the browser steps कि यार सबसे पहले तुम ये सब टेक्स्ट या जो भी है वो जिसका भी ऑर्डर है वो उसको तुम लोड करोगे, और उसके बाद जो भी बड़ा कंटेंट है, लेट्स से दिस लोगो इमेज, वो बाद में लोड करेंगे. Make sense. Okay, so non-lazy elements are loaded. This means users with slow internet connections can view the content of your page without having to wait for the images to load. Make sense. अभी तुम्हारा इंटरनेट स्लो है तो अगर टेक्स्ट होगा तो वो टेक्स्ट पहले लोड कर देगा, उसकी प्रायोरिटी सबसे पहले होगी. It depends on different websites what they want to show first, but yeah, you can view the content first. By content they probably mean, by magazines they probably mean the text, and we wait for the images to load. तो आप रीड करना शुरू कर सकते हैं, और जब रीड कर रहे हैं तो रीड करते करते वो बैकग्राउंड में वो इमेज लोड होता रहेगा, लोड हो रहा होगा. So give your new image element a loading attribute set to lazy. So LOADING hyphen double quotes lazy. Now we already have the preview, तो इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है when we are using the preview, but when we are actually building a website, so this is very handy, this comes very handy. But if I refresh this, unfortunately I can't refresh the preview. What if I click on preview this, and then it will take some time for the image to appear. If I remove the loading lazy, so then it will take less time for the image to appear. See for yourselves. Now if I press preview, it still takes a lot of time. So maybe the image is I was wrong, and the image probably has it takes a lot of memory to store this 1920 by 1080 image. Okay, so I'll press Ctrl Z, put the cursor first, and then press Ctrl Z, and the lady losing is back. And what else? So give your new element. So give your new image element a loading attribute set to lazy. Done. And let's check. unfortunately we still are supposed to create a header element in acha. So we're not supposed to create a heading element, we're supposed to put a header element. I made a mistake, so header, not heading, header, and I think we are good to go. So that was a typo. I got a little bit I got in a hurry. Okay, so within a heading element, we already had the heading element. Okay, that is the class. Okay, makes sense. We were supposed to create a header element with the class hero. Now we can go to the next step, and of course this shows us this. Now we are on step 5 after your image element. Okay, so image element, so after your image element add an h1 element. So ये इसके बाद यहाँ से हम डालेंगे h1 element. So मैं लिखूँगा, you know what, we are doing some work with the body element, so let me keep the preview open. So मैं दिखता रहेगा हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. So after h1 element, so after this image, तो जो भी दिखने वाला है, जो भी टेक्स्ट आने वाला है, वो सब इसके बाद आएगा. So what will we do? So I'll write h1, copy, paste, and the h1 closing tag. After the h1 closing tag, add an h1 with the class. So we'll also set the class to what? Hero title. So hero hyphen title, we have set that, and the text set to our new curriculum followed by a p element. So इसके बाद p element बनेंगे जिसका class hero subtitle होगा, and the text set to our efforts to this. Okay, so we'll put this as the text first, hero title. So this will be the hero title. I think we're going to apply the Anton font to this, and we'll put a p tag with the class equals double quotes hero hyphen subtitle. Hero subtitle. I think you guys cannot see that. Yeah, now it's much better. We can close this. So we put the closing p tag. Great going. So p hyphen class, and what will be text? So there's no hero hyphen subtitle, there's no p hyphen class. So this says our efforts to restructure our curriculum with a more project based focus. Notice guys, there is a full stop, but that full stop is not highlighted. We are not supposed to copy that. So उसकी वजह से भी गलती हो सकती है अगर आपने ठीक से कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं किया तो. Of course you can type that, but वो टाइप करते करते टाइपोज होते ही रहते हैं. You've also seen me make so many typos. So anyway, so I've copied and pasted that text, and when we go here, you can see that is here. और क्या बता रहे? So yeah, project based focus. ये text हमने paste कर दिया है. Let's see whether we are done. Yes, we are done with the 5th step. Now we are on step 6. Whoa, it's already half an hour. Okay, so now we are on step 6. Your image currently takes up a lot of space. I agree. To better set what you are working on, add a width attribute to the image element with a value of 400. So we can do that. We have an attribute called width. So instead of changing anything in the styles sheet, we'll add a width attribute with the value. Usually we use width and colon, but because we are in the index.html file, we'll put an equal to sign and I'll write 400. I think when we write 400, it's by default 400 pixels and not 400% or anything like that. And you can see that is here. Now I can zoom in for you guys to see it clearly. So this is what the page will look like, I hope. Now what else says? You will remove this later when you have worked on the CSS. So I was wrong about that. We will have to do something. We will do something with the CSS file, but for now, so that it looks better with this preview, probably the side-by-side preview, they've scaled it to 400, so it looks much better. Make sense? Makes sense. और क्या है? हाँ, बस इतना ही था. So with attribute हमने डाल दिया image element में, and we can go to the next step. Let's check our code and we are good to go. Now we are on step 7. after your header element, create a div with the class set to author. So after the header element, I think what they mean is this. So this is the header element, this is where the header element ends. So ये हमने header element बना दिया था, but we are still in the section called heading. Do not forget. So header के heading के अंदर ही है, as in we are still inside the section with the class value heading. Okay, so after your header element, so यहाँ पे हम जाएंगे. I'll press tab. Unfortunately I'll have to press tab a few more times to be inside the section. Okay, you can see that I have indented it. So after your header element, create a div. So header element and not the header class. Be very keep your eyes open, so and be attentive. So क्या लिखेंगे हम लोग? div element बनाएंगे. div का क्या क्लास रखना है? So क्लास का नाम है author में हम लोग probably date और author का नाम डालेंगे and author का नाम डालेंगे, which is freeCodeCamp in this case. But let's see, let's read further. So class क्या है? class है author, and we'll close the div tag. So div tag is closed now. There's nothing in here yet, but if I put text, then it will be visible anyway. So within that div, create AP element. So let's read this paragraph, this entire paragraph first. Within that div, create AP element with the class set to author name. Okay, author name, we can reuse the class value author and we'll give it the hyphen name. Give it the text by freeCodeCamp. Wrap the freeCodeCamp portion in an A element anchor with the hypertext reference set to this and the target set to blank so that it opens in a new tab. Below that, add a second P element with the class publish date and the text this. So we are supposed to add two P elements inside this. So let's begin with the first one, P, then P closing tag. इसको मैं copy करके paste कर देता हूँ because these two will be very different. I'll give it a class value. I'll finish the last one because yeah, that won't take much time. So publish hyphen date, and I'll write March space 7 and comma space 2019. I can see that now, and we go back to the first P tag. Now we're going to do some serious damage with this P tag. Let me scroll it up for you guys. You guys cannot see any code. Oh, I'm so sorry. So you guys cannot see any code. So this is the code that we have written so far. ये हमने div element बनाया, div element के अंदर P tag, and then we have this P class, and that's what we wrote, and you can see it in the preview here, March 7, 2019, and we give it the class value. We give it the class value publish date. Okay. Now in P tag, we will give it a class value. What is the class value for this? So it is author name, so AUTHOR hyphen name. I could have reused the author and then just written hyphen name. Then we are also to put the text in an A element. So let me just put the opening and closing A elements and write whatever the text we want inside it. Okay, then we have this anchor tag. So create a P element with the class set, okay, with the text by freeCodeCamp. That is easy to do. Wrap the freeCodeCamp portion. So हम लोग पहले by लिख देंगे, capital B and small y and then space, and we going to wrap the text freeCodeCamp. So ये मैंने freeCodeCamp लिख के ही रखा था. Oh, that's not where it's supposed to go. That's where it's supposed to go. You can see by color that I understood what I wrote, where I wrote it was incorrect. So it says by freeCodeCamp. Now we will make this a link. So in the anchor tag, I'll write a-h ref, and hypertext reference, I'll write https / freecodecamp.com. So we have freecodecamp.com. Sorry, not .com, .org. I'm so sorry. .org, and you can see that it is underlined by default, and you can see this line that is also visited, and it says normally it gives us the congratulations message. That means the link is working. Okay, So now what else? So freeCodeCamp, so we'll also set the target attribute so that it opens in a new tab. So underscore blank is the value for a new tab. If you wanted to open it in a link, then by default just leave it empty. You don't leave it empty. You don't even mention the target. But if you wanted to open in a new tab, then do so. If you want to open it in a new window, you can also look for the settings in there. Anyway, what are we doing next? So and the target set to blank. So I'll write now target, and target will be set to blank. So equal to underscore blank. And now whatever we click, if we click on this, it will open in a new tab. Okay, can you guys see that? Yes, you can. So now we also finished adding the p tag, so I think that's good. We are good to go to the next step. We have the green light and we are good to go. Thank you so much for watching, one viewer. Now we are on step 8. The referrer HTTP header contains information about the address or URL of a page that a user might be visiting from. So referrer, interesting. So referrer HTTP header, okay, that's new. So contains information about the address or the URL of a page that a user might be visiting from. This information can be used in analytics to track how many users from your page visit freecodecamp.org. For example, setting the relationship attribute to run referrers omits this information from the HTTP request. Give your element a relationship attribute set to no referrer. I see. So for analytics हमें देखना हो यार मेरे वेबसाइट को लोग कहाँ से विजिट कर रहे हैं, ज़्यादा इंस्टाग्राम से विजिट कर रहे हैं या फिर ज़्यादा लेट्स से फेसबुक से विजिट कर रहे हैं, यूट्यूब से विजिट कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें अगर आपको सब सेटिंग्स करने हो, आई थिंक वी कैन फाइंड दैट आउट ऑन गूगल बाय योरसेल्व्स. बट फॉर नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू सेट इट टू नो रेफरर सो दैट हमें नहीं इट वॉन्ट बेसिकली ट्रैक द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट ये जो ट्रैफिक आ रहा है, फॉर एग्जांपल ये जो यूज़र्स जो हमारी वेबसाइट को विज़िट कर रहे हैं वो कहाँ से कर रहे हैं. फेसबुक से वो लिंक ओपन कर रहे हैं, खुद टाइप कर रहे हैं, गूगल कर रहे हैं, या फिर फेसबुक, यूट्यूब, इंस्टाग्राम, ट्विटर, रेडिट, वेरेवर, कहाँ से आ रहे हैं. So let's see. I'll also show that to in our I can also show what that is in our YouTube analytics page, but more on that later. So what does this say? The referrer HTTP header. Okay, so ये हम कहाँ लिखने वाले हैं? So what do I see? Let me read this again. So referrer HTTP क्या? तो हम referrer के अंदर relationship. So okay, let's read this step again, and I explained it to you, but where are we supposed to write? Let's find out. Just give me a second, guys. There is a lot of noise coming, and let me just take care of that. Why don't you listen to the music, to some music first? So I've tried to minimize the volume a little bit, but you will be hearing some occasional thuds and sounds. Nothing to worry about that. That is just the environment. Anyway, So where were we? So the referrer HTTP header contains information about the address or URL of a page that a user might be visiting from. This information can be used in analytics to track how many users from your page visit freeCodeCamp. Okay, कितने लोग visit करते हैं page को? How many users from your page? From your page, I see. Okay, visit freeCodeCamp.org. अच्छा, तो ये मैंने let's say ये article को मैंने कोई abcd.xyz वेबसाइट पे पब्लिश किया है, तो जैसे ही मैं इस पे क्लिक करूँगा, so I explained it a little bit incorrectly, like all of it incorrectly. So यहाँ पे जब मैं क्लिक करूँगा तो दूसरी वेबसाइट पे जाएंगे, तो दूसरी वेबसाइट को दिख जाएगा कि भाई ये जो है, जिसने भी पेज विज़िट किया है वो यहाँ से विज़िट किया है, तो लोगों को पता चल जाएगा कि लोगों को एज इन वो जो freeCodeCamp वेबसाइट है उनको समझ आ जाएगा कि मेरा ट्रैफिक इतना ट्रैफिक एज इन 100 यूज़र्स ने इस लिंक को क्लिक किया था, फॉर एग्जांपल इस लिंक को क्लिक किया था. टू नॉट डू दैट वी यूज़ नो रेफरर. ओके, for example, setting the relationship attribute to no referrer omits this information from the HTTP request. Okay, so ये information नहीं हट जाएगा. Give your a element, so this is the a element, AREL, so relationship attribute of no referrer, so equals in double quotes no REFERRER. So now anyone who visits freeCodeCamp, they will be able to do it without freeCodeCamp knowing that someone or you clicked on this link. Great work. Now we can go to the next step. Now we are on step 9. What does this say? So, whoa, that is okay. So below your .author, so when it says .author, that means it refers to a class, whatever element, whatever the name of that element is. It could be a p element, it could be a div, and it is a div. So they are referring to .author. When they say .author element, they are referring to the div element with the class author. So below your author, so if this ends, so we'll probably do something in this line. So below your author element, create a new div element, okay, with the class social icons. Okay, I think these will so now we're going to add the images and the links. Okay, so first let's set the div. So I'll write div here, div, copy, paste. Oh, and please put the indentation. Yes, indentation, and this will have the class what social info. Social icons, so we will put the value social -icons for this class social icons. What else? Now inside this we'll add 5 a elements within that new div and give them the following href attributes. Okay, so the first will have this href set to this website, then the second will have it set to this website, then the third and the fourth and the fifth. Great. So let me quickly write the first a element. Let me scroll up, or enter karte hain, and oh yeah, you have to make it a closing tag. Now inside this we'll add 5 a tags. So let me quickly write a href equals whatever the link is and the closing a tag, and I will duplicate this 5 times. Paste, 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 and paste. Great. Now we are not mentioning any text right now. We're probably going to put in an image attribute in all 3 of them, all 4 of them. We're not going to mention the class for now. So let's see. The first a element should have this link set, this link set to href link set to this. So hypertext reference https://facebook.com freeCodeCamp. Nothing is here because we haven't added any text yet. If I add text, then it will be visible. But for now, that link is invisible because of no text. Then you know what? I can also copy from this way. So HTTPS, and inside this freeCodeCamp, and you can see that is also underlined, so it understands that it is also a link. Now we also copy the LinkedIn page address, and we've pasted the LinkedIn page URL too. Now we also copy the Instagram page URL, and we put that as the third value, and let me just copy the Twitter link too. So copy and paste. Great. Now we have pasted all the links, so I hope we have finished all the steps for this step. We have, and we can move on to the next step. So within each, add an I element. Okay, we're going to add an I element. We came across I elements before too. The first I element should have the class fab. Okay, Facebook font awesome B, so must be font awesome something B, then font awesome hyphen Facebook hyphen F. So this will, okay, so we're supposed to add what within each, so all 5 हर एक के अंदर हम लोग डालेंगे I element और उसको class देंगे, and this will be the class value. Okay, so let me quickly add in I element, and if I know correctly, I is not a self-closing tag, so let me copy that. Before I do that, let me put the class equals double quotes. Do they repeat? So fab repeats, then fab, so fab fa repeats, fab fa, then fab fa Twitter, fab fa Instagram, fab fa LinkedIn, then fab fa YouTube. So let me also copy that text. Oh sorry, fab till fa hyphen. I'll copy and paste that, and I will also paste, I'll copy this, I'll keep that in mind, and Facebook hyphen F. Then we'll go to the, I've already copied the I element, so I'll go to the next. You can already see the Facebook logo, and that is a link for the freeCodeCamp. You can see that I'm dragging a link for now. Okay, now we press paste, and for the second Twitter we write FA Twitter, and we are good. We can see the Twitter logo, and there is an underscore between them. I don't know how that came, but it is visible. Then we go to the next element. For that, it says Instagram. Hopefully it says Instagram, nothing else to add. Then LinkedIn के लिए LinkedIn hyphen in है, and YouTube के लिए YouTube है. Okay, I think we can manage. So Instagram GRAM. Then for this, can you guys see that? Yes. I'll press tab, and then I'll write fab fa. So for LinkedIn is LINKEDIN hyphen in, and for YouTube it is this class fa. What is this? So YouTube is only YouTube, there's nothing else to add, and we can see these logos have appeared, and there is an underscore between them to mention that they have gaps for some reason. But if I remove this, yeah, that does not look good. So if I write I only, if we do not put the closing tags, then it replicates it 5 times somehow. I don't know what that is, but anyway, now we'll check our code, and we can go to the next step. Now we are on step 11. What does this say? So below your heading element, okay, so dot heading is a whatever the element is with a class value of heading, and we can see that we are outside of the heading element. Oh my god, that is a lot. So below your heading element, this is that. So we are moving on to this, moving on from this section to the next section. And so we are going to create a new section. So why don't I just copy this value, the closing section tag, and we can reuse that. Let me scroll a little bit up. Okay, yeah, I press tab, yep, section, and I'll also press section again, and I'll remove the slash sign. So now we have an opening and closing section element, a section element with an opening and a closing tag. So the class will be set to text now. Nice. So this class will have the value text. Class equals text. Within that create AP element. Chalo. So within that create AP element with the class set to double quotes text. So we have two. Interesting. So we're going to apply text to both of them. Interesting. Am I reading that right? No, I'm not reading that right. I'm supposed to make it first paragraph and not text. So, and the following text. So inside this P element, before I paste the text, let me close the P tag. Now I'll copy this. I use the left mouse, I click the left mouse button thrice and it selected the whole line, and it goes from here till this end. That must be a longer text. It is a big paragraph and we can see that big paragraph has appeared here. Great. I did nothing, I did not write that, I just selected that text. If you want to write that text, you can, there's no compulsion. If you can do whatever you like. If you wanted to type that down for your typing practice, no problem. Then we go to step 12, create another P element. Okay, so we're going to create another P element after this probably. So that's the first paragraph. I see, and it has been given the class first paragraph. Then there will be another paragraph below your first paragraph and give it the following text. But this won't have a class. There's no class that has been mentioned for this P, another P element. So, and it also says dot first paragraph element, so it refers to whatever element this is that has the class value first paragraph. Anyway, so we're going to copy this text and we're not going to mention anything in the P tag, so I can just simply write P closing tag. Okay, and in this I'll put the I'll paste the code, and you can see the text has appeared here. What does this say? So soon the freeCodeCamp curriculum will be 100% project driven learning. Instead of a series of coding challenges, you will learn through building projects step by step. So instead of these courses, I think, or maybe they are talking about these projects. So we are building projects, if you think about it, step by step. So we are going through the steps. Before we get into details, let me emphasize we are not changing the certifications. All 6 certifications will still have the same 5 required projects. Yes, this is a 2019 document. A lot has changed after that. And then we are only changing the optional coding challenges. Okay, after years of pondering these two problems and how to solve them, I slipped, hit my head on the sink, and when I came back when I came to, I had a revelation, a vision, a picture in my head, a picture of this is what makes time travel possible, a flux capacitor. So what is a flux capacitor? What does it look like? So flux capacitor, let's just look at it. So that is a flux capacitor. I don't know what that does but I think it's a reference to Back to the Future. I think physicists designed a flux capacitor, we've designed a flux capacitor. We can find out what the flux capacitor is. I see, yeah, we can read. So it is a fandom website. Fandom is for movies or fans who are into TV shows. So basically this link, you can read this link. It says https://back to the future. So ये back to the future के बारे में कुछ information है, and it's an organized information. It's organized information that, you know what, this is a flux capacitor. So in the Back to the Future universe, flux capacitor does this. So apparently flux capacitor is the components of time traveling DeLorean time machine and the following Jules Verne train. Okay, so it's a fictional thing. Flux capacitor. What is a flux capacitor in real life? Capacitors are devices that store energy that are pretty common in the world of electronics. Flux meanwhile is the amount of something moving across a certain area. In a flux capacitor, microwaves are the something and the channel they move across is a central capacitor. Mind-blowing stuff. I did not understand any of that. So capacitors are devices. You know what, I'll keep this in my notes. We can read more and maybe we can check out Back to the Future. Anyway, so we have finished the test, this test, not the whole test, and then we can move on to the next step. So far we've added the image, we've added our new curriculum, the title, then we have added the title text, then we have added the author, then date, published on, we've added the logos using the I element, and then we've pasted this text in a p tag, also this. So let's go and read the third step. Add a third p element at the end of your .text element and give it the following text. So at the end of your text element, so this is referring to a class with the value text, so that's an attribute class text. So let's see where is the class. So at the end of this, so at the end, so iske baad, this was the last p element and section यहाँ पे end होता है, so we can safely assume that we are supposed to add the text here, p, and we'll put the closing tag. We are not supposed to give it any class value, so I'm not going to give it any class value. If it does ask me to do so, then I will do it. Now what does this say? It wasn't as dramatic as Doc's revelation. The Doc probably from Back to the Future, in Back to the Future, Doc's revelation in Back to the Future. It just occurred to me while I was going for a run, where whoever the author is, it says freeCodeCamp, but whoever the author is, it occurred to them, then a revelation occurred to them when they were on a run. The revelation, the entire curriculum should be a series of projects. Instead of individual coding challenges, we'll just have projects, each with their own seamless series of tests. Each test gives you just enough information to figure out how to get it to pass, and you can view hints if that isn't enough. They are literally describing what we are doing. हम लोग steps लिखते हैं और हमें थोड़ा थोड़ा information देते हैं, hints वाला, थोड़ा थोड़ा information देते हैं, hints नहीं देते हैं. And based on that information, we are supposed to figure out what to do. And if we fail that test, then it also gives us a hint that, dude, you're supposed to do that. And you've noticed that if I make a mistake with my code, it will say your code does not pass, and it will also try to give me a hint. So they're literally talking about their new curriculum, which is what I'm learning. So if I check my code now, I deliberately deleted the closing tag, and it will give me the hint. So your third p element should have the provided text. So they're also trying to be, they're also trying to make us learn कि तुम यार खुद try करके देखो. And that's what we are doing. We're building projects. Of course, these are sample projects. We're not getting paid for any of this, but we are doing literal projects. We're building magazines and stuff. Wow. So now we are finished with this step, and you can see that the third paragraph is now visible. Great. Now we will go to step 14. So after the 3p elements within your text element, this is the section called text section element with the class value text. Create a block quote element. That is new for us. What is a block quote element? So let's find out. What does it look like? So when we go to images, what does it say? So example of block quote tag. I see. अच्छा, तो मैं कुछ quote word डालना हो तो हम लोग ये use करते हैं. Okay. What does it say? Block quote, life is like a box of chocolates. So will it be in italics? Probably. So इसके कोई formatting उसका कुछ set किया गया है, and it will look cooler when we're using block quote text. Now you can see that. So this is probably a p tag, and this is a block quote tag. Cool. So block quote opening and ending tags डाल देंगे. What else? Create a block quote element. So we are literally there. Within that, add an HR element. So HR, I think header row, HR element, heading row maybe. So HR element in HTML. It says thematic break, the HR element. Horizontal rule, yes. Oh, I remember HR. We use them in the cafe menu. Yes. So HR, yeah. So horizontal rule is what we will use. I completely forgot about that. So we'll use horizontal rule to show people that we have moved to a new topic. Okay, so that's what we're going to do after the block quote. Within the block quote and AP element with the class quote and a second HR element. Okay, then give the dot quote element the text this. Okay, so let's scroll up a little. The block quote does it need to be? Nope, so we're not going to do anything to that. I'll close the block quote element with the so block quote element के opening and closing tags डाल दिए हैं inside this. Oh, and I think indentation is important. Section के अंदर ही है, but it is nested, so let's make it nested. Great. Now inside this we'll put a p tag. Before the p tag we are supposed to put before the p tag we are supposed to put a horizontal rule tag. I think horizontal rule is a self-closing tag. Let's find out. It is a self-closing tag. We can see it for ourselves. I'll put the closing p tag, and I can also copy this. Great. Now we can see that we have two HR tags, horizontal rules, and we'll also give the p tag a class value of quote. So we'll probably be able to manipulate it and manipulate the position of it. Okay, what does it say? And a second HR element डाल दिया है. Now within the quote, which is this, the p tag, we'll add this text. Please keep your eyes open. I'm not copying the full stop, I'm only copying this quote without the full stop. You can see the entire curriculum should be a series of projects. We saw that in the preview. This text will be in blue and it will be in the center, just like a magazine. Good stuff. I fear whether I might be okay. The mic is on. Yep, you guys can hear me. Great. We can go to the next step. Now we are on step 15 and we can see it's coming together. I think we are focusing more on HTML file first, and we'll focus on the completely focus on the CSS file later, because this does include a lot of text, so maybe we should paste the text first. So what does this say? Below your block quote element, add another p element with the following text. So we will add another p element. This p element will not have the class, but we can check that. Nope. Cool. So what does this say? Below your block quote element, add another p element. The moment I clicked on this line, the cursor started blinking at this position, so it understood that we are supposed to put a new element. So, and it's in line with the section elements. You can see that it is indented. Great work. So below your block quote element, add another p element. Okay, and we'll go close the p element and we'll put this text. That is also a long text. Let me just copy all of it. So I press the left mouse button thrice, click the left mouse button rather, and this is the text. If you want me to explain to you how that is possible using Mac, then let me know. That is not a feature that is possible with any device other than Mac. So I think जहाँ पे हम माउस सिर्फ hover करते हैं और पूरा text visible हो जाता है. I can use the hover text for this to anything, literally anything. This will also tell me the value of this. Of course, it's a question mark. FreeCodeCamp. So it basically shows me the text in a bigger box with a higher font size, a bigger font size for accessibility. Anyway, you can see that. Moving on, we are supposed to paste this text. That is a lot of text. No more walls of explanatory text. No more walls of tests, just one test at a time. That's what we're actually doing, one test at a time. as you build up a working project, we're literally building a working project. Over the course of passing thousands of tests, you build up projects and your own understanding of coding fundamentals. There is no transition between lessons and projects because the lessons themselves are baked into projects. That is true. I've been saying it so many times, as in I keep repeating what they are teaching us, and that way, well, I just keep understanding. So of course I haven't understood all the things. I'm sure that I will not remember a lot of things, but the more I keep saying these things, the more I keep it in my active vocabulary, the more it works. Okay, there's plenty of repetition to help you retain everything, because hey, projects in real life has plenty of repetition. That is true. हम लोग कौन से HTML projects में अभी वापस वो doc type declaration डालेंगे? It's probably for us to understand that it is all code. Do not worry, कोड देख के डरना नहीं है, सब पढ़ सकेंगे. So ये अभी हमने कॉपी कर दे पेस्ट कर दिया है, and we can go to the next tag, next step. Sorry, let me just do this. Yes. Now we will create a fifth P element at the end of your dot text element. So we are still inside the text section, and somehow the indentation wasn't there, but no problem, we can just use tab for indentation. Now I'll add P element. It also does not require a closing tag, and also we'll put this text copy. If we scroll down, we will paste it here, and you can see in the preview that this text has appeared. So what does this do? The main design challenge is taking what is currently paragraphs of explanation and instructions and packing them into a single text description text. Each project will involve dozens of tests like this. Exactly. People will be coding the entire time rather than switching back and forth from reading mode to coding mode. हाँ, तो उनको कुछ समझ नहीं आता, फिर इंटरनेट पे ढूंढने का, भाई इसका क्या मतलब होता है, 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 and then they come back and then we go to the coding mode. Yeah, makes sense. And we can go to the next step. Now we are on step 17. Create one final P element at the end of your dot text element and give it the following text. And more text. Unfortunately, I will not be able to copy it this way, so I'll press the left mouse button here, click the left mouse button here once, and then I'll drag this scroll bar, horizontal scroll bar, and then I'll press shift and I'll click here. We have copied the text. There should be a way, maybe there isn't. Nope, we'll only be able to copy the line. Never mind. But I have already copied the entire paragraph this way, this shift method, and thank you so much, Yogen sir, for teaching me that method. Really, I did not know before you showed me that. Now creating one final P element at the end of your dot text element and give it the following text. So और नीचे कहाँ पे create one final at the end of your text element. So this is the text element section के अंदर class value text, and अभी हम लोग एक और P element बनाएंगे यहाँ पे. I've already copied that, so I'll just type it. अभी ये मैंने text copy किया था वो मैं paste कर दूँगा. And because of the word wrap, it looks like this, but do not fret guys, it is still an intact paragraph here. So whoa, okay, now instead of a series of coding challenges, people will be in their code editor passing one test after another. We are doing that. We are going through different steps. People will get into a real flow state similar to what they experience when they build the required projects. At the end of each certification, they'll get that sense of forward progress right from the beginning, and freeCodeCamp will be a much smoother experience. Yep. Understood, and that is correct. And we have finished this step. Let's see. Green light. So we are on step 18 now, below your dot text elements. So yeah, we are out of this section now. We're going to create a new section, so let me just borrow this line. In this line I will paste that. It also copied the, unfortunately it also copied the line break, doesn't matter. Section element, and now I'll copy this and I'll put that. Okay, below your .text element, create a new section element and give it a class of text. So we'll give it a class of text and text hyphen width hyphen images. And you can see there's nothing here yet because we haven't added anything in this section so far. Within that, create an article element. So now we're going to use article element. Article. This must have made it easy for journalists to understand what an article, what a section is. With the class set to, so we article को class value देंगे, which will be what, brief history. So now we're going to cover the brief history of freeCodeCamp. That's what it said in the preview. Okay, class set to, and an aside element. So now we have an aside element. That is a new element. We haven't come across aside elements so far. It must be a part of publishing. There's nothing new in the preview tab yet. Now we are on aside element with the class. Class equals to double quotes image hyphen wrapper. Nothing yet. This probably wraps the image. We'll probably do some settings to show it as an image wrapper. And we are done with this step. Let's quickly Google what an aside element does before we go to the next step. So aside element by W3 schools, aside tab. So display some content aside from the content it is placed in. Achha, aside, is it a detour? What does it look like? Let's look at it. So that's what aside element looks like. Just a second guys, someone's at the door. Give me a second please. So I'll turn off. Sorry guys, there was someone at the door. You could hear that. That was the gate, but yeah. Anyway, we go to the next step now, but that's what it looked like. Let's click on try it yourself again. This is what aside tag looks like, and the text inside the aside tag looks like. Probably इसका कुछ कलर वलर भी देते होंगे. यहाँ पे इसने लिखा है, हाँ देखो aside को इसने टारगेट किया है. इसका width, padding, left margin, float, whatever this that, and the float value is right, so it will float to the right. The font style is this, background color this that, and the background color is light gray. If I write black, then it would become black. If I run it, you can see the text has become black because we haven't given it any color. Or if I write color, I know I'm drifting, but don't worry. So I'll write white, and you can see that. So that's how we edit the aside. We'll have something to do with the aside tag later, but for now we can go back to freeCodeCamp. So within your article element, within this article element, create an HC element with the class set to list title. अच्छा, यही उठा लेते हैं. Class double quote नहीं ले पाते हैं. It's a headache. I'll press tab. So within this article element, we will create an H3 element. That is the header with the H3 value, not the H3 value. but वो header है, but उसका value H1 से कम है. And we'll give it a class value of, what does it say? So list hyphen title. This must be for the years कि भाई 2014 में ये हुआ, 2017 में ये हुआ, 2018 में ये हुआ, and this is how freeCodeCamp came to be. So a brief, this is the title, brief history. So yeah, it makes sense. Now they're going to give us a brief history. That makes sense. So below that, below this we will create a p element. So p क्या कुछ class वास देने का है? Nope. P element We'll also close the PET element so that we don't forget later. With the text of the curriculum, a brief history of the curriculum. You can see that. So this will be the title with the h3 tag, and this will be AP tag with this text. Okay, then create a UL element with the class lists. Of course, with the class lists, not anything. Okay, so UL class lists. Oh, I forgot the double quotes. So lists, and I'll close this. And UL is not a self-closing tag, so we have to put the closing tag, of course. And we are good to go for the next step. And you can see the preview tag refreshes itself every time. So within your UL elements, create 6 LI elements. Easy. Add an H4 element, okay, with a class set to list, subtitle, and AP element to. Okay, so list के अंदर okay, within, and then वो कहाँ रखना है? Let's find out. So let's finish the list first. So UL के अंदर हम लोग डालेंगे LI list element. कितने 6 डालना है? So close this tag, copy, paste, and we'll also copy this. So now we have 6 list elements. What does it say? 6 list elements. Add an h4 element with a class set to list, subtitle. ये अभी कौन लिखने बैठे, तो मैं इसको कॉपी कर दूंगा. And I think guys it's getting dark. Let me turn on the lights. Great. So within your UL element, create 6 LI elements. डाल दिए. Add an H4 element with a class set to this and AP element. So H4 and LI. Sorry, H4 and P. And AP element to each of your elements. अच्छा. So H4 and P each of your elements. फिर ये थोड़ी गलती कर दी, इन दोनों को, इन सबको पहले हटा देते हैं. इनके अंदर H4 and P elements डालने वाले हैं. So H4, that is not a self-closing element. पहले H4 है, पहले P है. I think H4 is first and then P is later. P comes later. /P closing tag. So कहाँ गया? And then H4 with a class. अभी class भी हमें copy करना पड़ेगा. And AP element to each of your LI elements. Okay, we'll do that first. So H4 class equals this. Okay, quote. What else? Then give the H4 and V elements the following text content in order with each H4 using what's on the left side of the colon. Left side of the colon. हम लोग colon copy नहीं करने वाले. You can see that this is not highlighted. In order with each H4 using what's on the left side of the colon and each P using what's on the right. Makes sense? So before we do any of that, list subtitle डाल दिया है. और क्या कॉपी किया था? कुछ तो कॉपी किया था नहीं. Okay, that's it. So now we're going to paste this 6 times. इसको और स्क्रॉल करते हैं. Let me zoom out a little bit for myself. आपको भी दिख ही रहा होगा. I think yeah, the text is visible to you guys. Yes. So now I'll press enter. We are still inside the unordered list. अभी मैंने 3 बार इनको कॉपी किया है. Now I'll copy this and paste it 6 more times, and you can see that text has appeared. Why? I must not have copied it correctly. So यहाँ से, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक copy, enter paste. From here till here, copy this and press enter and paste it. Great. We have pasted it 6 times, 5 more times. Okay, now this will be a part of H4. Command C, Command V. Then we copy this from here till the full stop. You can notice that the full stop is inside the highlight. AP में paste करेंगे. Oh, I did not copy that, did I? let me copy that again. Unfortunately I did not copy it the first time. So copy this, and for P I'll paste it. Just a second guys, I seem to have a phone call. Okay, so let me just deal with that. Just a second please. There are a lot of distractions today, unfortunately. Okay, sorry about that guys, let's continue. So we copied and pasted the text for this P element, and let's copy v2 equals 2015, v3 2015. Okay, so 15, 15, 16, 17 and 18. Let me just write that v2 equal okay, v2 15, 15, 16, 17, 18. So v1, then v2 15, then v3 15, and v4 16, v4 colon space 2016, v4, that is probably version 4 of FreeCodeCamp courses, 2017. Is it 2017 or 2017 and 2018? Stands to reason because this supposed article was written in 2019. So v5 2018. So then I don't need to really copy this much text. ये लंबा text हम copy करके paste कर सकते हैं. So in v2 2015, in the p tag they did this. We added interactive algorithm challenges algorithm. Then in v15 we added our own HTML plus CSS challenges. Before we'd been relying on general assemblies dash course for these. Oh, barabar copy nahi kiya. Yes, we are also supposed to copy the full stop, and in this we'll paste that. And we are good to go. So हमने बना दिया है. You can see v1, v2, v3, v4, v5 and v6. 2014. What did they do? So they launched FreeCodeCamp with a simple list of 15 resources, including Harvard CS50 and Stanford's database class. Harvard CS50, that is a very popular course. Computer Science 50. We added interactive algorithm challenges. We added our own HTML plus CSS challenges before we've been relying on General Assembly's dash course for these. Then we expanded our curriculum to 3 certifications, including front end, back end and data visualization. They each had 10 required projects, but only the front end section had its own challenges. For the other certificates, we were still using external resources like Node School. Node School must be for Java, maybe Java nodes, node script, I don't know what I'm talking about, but something related to Java, maybe Node and Java and something. Then we added the back end and data visualization challenges. So धीरे धीरे उन्होंने खुद को build किया. I'm not sure what these things are, but they built it, and we probably have these as a part of our courses now. We launched 6 new certifications to replace our old ones. This was the biggest curriculum improvement to date. So 2018 में उन्होंने 6 खुद के नए certifications launch किए. Now great work. Let's go to the next step. Submit and go to next challenge. So what does this say? So within your aside element, now we are aside. I am aside with joy. I'm aside myself. Besides myself. Okay. Within your assigned element, just tab once, create 2 image elements. We'll probably put the 2 quotes. Yes, I can see block quote coming and a third image elements. So दो image मतलब total 3 image और okay image अभी और कुछ डालना नहीं है. Lower case में image is a self closing tag और इसके बीच में हम लोग डालेंगे block quote with the class value of image hyphen quote and close block quote. I don't know if it is a self closing or not, so we will put that. If it gives us a if it denies us to go to the next step, then we'll know that it is not a self closing tag. Okay, image quote block quote image 2 image elements डाल दिए, उसके बाद एक block quote element डाल दिया और एक third image element डाल दिया and block quote element को एक class value दे दी image quote. We are beside, I think, yeah. So assigned with joy or beside with joy. I think it is beside with joy. I am beside myself with joy. So beside herself. Herschel is beside himself. Okay. That is so funny. She was beside herself when she found she loved. Beside himself, literally beside himself. Anyway, so we can go to the next step and we can see this. We cannot see any image elements yet, but we have added the block quote, so that's why we can see something. We cannot see something, but there is a gap which was not there before. How do I know? Because if I remove this text, there will be the gap will be smaller. You can see that. You saw that the gap closed, and that's why there is something here, but we haven't added any text or any content yet. Now step 22, within the .image wrapper, .image is this, and aside give your first image elements a source. Thank you, उन्होंने वहाँ पे हमारे लिए एक space डाल के रखी है. And we'll give it a source attribute with the value of this, and double quotes. Again, source attribute with the value of whatever this link is. क्या बोल रहा है? So give your first image element a source. Okay. और क्या है? Alt भी लिख ही देते हैं. Why is that not working? Okay. And alt of the image of the code class. अच्छा, class भी लिखना है. But I think we are not supposed to do anything with the first image for now. ठीक है. Alt and क्या है और class of image1, so image -1, and a loading attribute, so lazy load, so images lazily load होंगे, so loading attribute with the value lazy. Great. We have to crack your knuckles, don't we? We have to crank our knuckles all the time. Now loading attribute set to lazy and a width. Oh my god, width attribute. Yeah, whenever width comes, I just immediately put colons. Let attribute 6 to 600. अभी तो image डाला भी नहीं है. And height attribute set to, what is the value? 400. And we can see here that is the width and the height. So even if we change the viewport size, the image will not change. Okay, moving on. अभी हम लोग source भी डाल देते हैं, and we'll also put the alt text. Copy this. Let's see what the image looks like. That is the image. That is an image of a code. तो ये सब हमें ये सब झंझट नहीं आएगी. We don't need to put the radius and whatnot. Now we go to the alt text, alternative text, so that if the image doesn't load properly, people can see what it was trying to say. So it says image of the code machine project. But remember that you're not getting what you want. Dalai Lama. Okay. Great stuff. And we can go to the next step. Nice. We are on step 23, guys. Do not worry, I will be with you every step of the way. If you think I'm going slow, please mention in the comments. If you think I'm going very fast, then please also mention in the comments. So within your image wrapper element, give the second image element, which is this, the second image element, source, alt, loading, to set to lazy, class, to image to width to 400 and height to also 400. यही उठा लेते हैं, यही attributes उठा लेते हैं. We can just put that inside image. So enter, paste कर दिया. Yes, we can see and we can change this. So what does this say? cdn.freecodecamp.org testable projects fcc image calc.png. So fcc images तक ये सब बराबर ही है. It changes before random quote machine changes. It changes to calc. ये लिख दिया, हमारा दूसरा image तैयार. Now we change the alt text. So image of a, so instead of the quote, image of a क्या, a calculator project. So a calculator project. Great. Now if I do anything to the URL, we can see that alternative text. Now where were we? A loading attribute set to lazy, a class set to image to, आप देख नहीं पा रहे, हाँ, class set to image to width set to 400 instead of 600. So यहाँ पे मैं copy जो किया था उसकी जगह मैं 400 लिख दूँगा. So you can see this image looks much better now. Designed and coded by Peter Weinberg. That's probably an HTML thing, or maybe not. And we are good to go to the next step. Wow, so far so good. अभी तक सिर्फ text किया है. We haven't even reached the CSS part yet. But this is some high level stuff, man. This is some high functioning stuff. What are we to do now? So we are on step 24. Do not fret, guys. We will finish this. Do not worry. So what does this say? Within your image wrapper element. अच्छा, ये इसको तो कुछ क्लास वास मेंशन नहीं किया. ये कहाँ से आया? अच्छा, yeah, this is the image wrapper element beside me. Okay, within your image wrapper, give your image third image source. हाँ, ये सब उठा के रखते हैं. अभी तीसरा image आ ही गया है तो इसकी source से लेके यहाँ तक I think line break भी उठा ही लेते हैं. तो यहाँ से भी line break उठा ही लेते हैं ना. Till here. Great. So I don't need to really do anything except paste. Nice. अभी source में testable projects fcc images, अभी survey form background है instead of this calc. So मैं calc को हटा के यहाँ पे paste कर दूँगा and we can see the third image, but instead of png it's jpeg. So I'll write jpeg. Or if I write jpg, the image won't load. If I write jpeg, the image loads. Okay, alt है ये. This is the last image. I think we are about to be done with the HTML code. अभी हम लोग full CSS code जाने वाले. We're gonna go crazy with the CSS code now. So देखते हैं. अभी image of a calculator की जगह हम लिखेंगे 4 people working on a project. So paste. Can you guys see that? Yes, you guys can see that. All 4 people working on code. और क्या है? Okay. Lazy ही है. Loading. Class image will be now image 3. इसकी width रखेंगे 600 by 400. So we'll only change this width to 600. That image does look much better now. Or if I read 6000, then it would be expanded. Yeah, that's how we play with stuff. Okay. Anyway, 6000 का 600 कर देते हैं. Good stuff. Let's check. We are good to go. Step 25. Oh, sorry. within your image quote element, then yep. Next an HR element, horizontal rule. HR is a self-closing tag. Give the B element a class set. Okay. Next an HR element and AP element and a second HR element. So इसको ले लेते हैं, copy, paste, enter. Give the P element a class. So P class क्या है भाई? QUOTE, another quote. Close this P element and text the millions of people. So यहाँ से यहाँ copy, यहाँ पे paste, and you can see this has become a quote. इसको probably हम लोग move करके वहाँ पे right में दिखाएंगे, like we saw in the preview. The millions of people who are learning to code through freeCodeCamp will have an even better resource to help them learn these fundamentals. So he's also promoting his new idea कि भाई ऐसे करते हैं, ऐसे लोगों को पढ़ाते हैं, सिखाते हैं. So within your dot image quote element, next an HR element, AP element and a second HR element. हाँ ठीक है, वो कर दिया, and we are good to go. Not many errors so far except for the deliberate one I made. I think in the beginning steps. Now we go to steps. Now we are finally in the CSS. And हम लोग तो अभी step 26 पे पहुँचे हैं और I can't believe it, but I think probably जितने भी अब steps आने वाले हैं वो सारे steps CSS से related होने वाले हैं. But don't worry guys, we'll all understand, we'll all learn from all of this. So I don't have anything to worry. So what does this say? To start your CSS, normalize the CSS rules by targeting all elements. Yep, we target all the elements using the asterisk. And we'll also include the before and after pseudo elements. So before, BEFORE, comma space, after, nice. अभी pseudo selectors के अंदर set padding, सबका padding हम set करने वाले हैं, margin and border sizing. So border hyphen sizing to border hyphen box. I don't think we're going to do anything with the colors for now. So 0 semicolon, 0 semicolon and then space 0 semicolon again. ठीक है, border sizing लिखा था, अच्छा box sizing not border sizing, sorry, box sizing. We can immediately see the difference. Nope. When we added we removed the margin and the padding, we could immediately see the difference. Yep. We'll probably give these values. To each and every div and section and the main element and a side element and the P elements and the HR elements. Let's find out. We will go to the next step. Oh my god. I think the rest of the 80 steps, yeah, not the rest of the 80, whatever is left out of the 80 steps, which would be what, 80 minus 20, 60 and 7, so 53 steps. So 53 steps will be all CSS, so that is a good dive. So create an HTML selector. अभी HTML के साथ क्या करेंगे? Give it a font size property to 62.5%. तो डिफ़ॉल्ट इसकी जो भी साइज़ हो, डिफ़ॉल्ट ब्राउज़र साइज़ हो, जैसे मेरा ब्राउज़र, मैं मेरे ब्राउज़र पे पिक्सल साइज़, टेक्स्ट साइज़ रखता हूँ, फॉन्ट साइज़ रखता हूँ 100 पिक्सल्स, तो उसका वो 62.5 साइज़ कर देगा. सो फॉन्ट साइज़ 62.5%. Okay. Oh, there's no L. Yep. This will set the default font size for your web page to 10 pixels. The browser default is 16 pixels. So by default, it's 16 pixels. This will make it easier for you to work with REM units later, as 2rem would be 20 pixels. Yes, relative element size. We are good to go. A second, please. Just give me a second. Anyway, let's continue with step 28. So create a body selector. Now we'll create a body selector, curly brackets. बॉडी में जो भी फॉन्ट है उसकी हम लोग सेट करेंगे फैमिली, सो FAMILY. Now we've already linked a class from font.google APIs, so api.font, some Google API font will probably be able to select that font. Yep, we can see that property to Baskerville, so font family, and the fallback is serif, not SARIF, SERIF. So serif, you can see the text has changed its font except for the images, of course. Okay, now what else are we to do? So we'll also set the color property, that is the color of the text, to RGB 20 30 40. Okay, so RGB, that is a function, so 20 30 40, and semicolon, no changes there. Yeah, it looks a little bit more dim. It's not completely black, it is a little bit brighter. We'll also set the background color. So oh sorry, we are supposed to set the background color to this. So background hyphen color, ये बराबर लग रहा है. That color is greenish, dark green, darker shade of green, and we'll set the color property to linen. So LINEN semicolon. It does not need to be all caps, and we can see that is a linen color. What values does this have? Linen की values भी कुछ होती होंगी. We can find out on Google linen hex code. देख देंगे FAF0E6. Anyway, we've set this value. Let me zoom in again so you guys can see it much better clearly. Great. अभी हमने font और ये सब वैल्यू सेट की है. अभी H1 का font हम लोग कुछ अलग सेट करेंगे. So whatever we set for the body will be overridden for H1. तो बॉडी में जो भी है वो सब तो टेक्स्ट, मतलब पी टैग्स और वो सब अगर हम लोग टारगेट नहीं करें तो उनकी कोई फॉन्ट फैमिली चेंज नहीं होगी, पर इनकी फॉन्ट फैमिली चेंज होगी. फॉन्ट फैमिली टू एंटॉन एंड this to fall back to sans serif semicolon, and you can see this immediately. H1 की साइज, हाँ अभी उसकी साइज भी हम लोग चेंज करेंगे probably. What did it look like before? Okay, that's good. Sans serif, you can see that this text has changed. Now we are on step 30. Create an H1 okay, अच्छा तो ये list of selector है, और I would also call it a selector list of selectors, I would say. हाँ, list of selectors. अभी font family यहाँ से उठा लेते हैं, and fallback is also sans serif. So let me just copy this, not the indentation. Great. Anton. Oh, it should be in single quotes. Interesting. So any font that we're adding should be in single quotes. Now I will follow that. Just a second. Yeah. So instead of Anton, I'll write railway. What changed? Probably these. This changed. Don't believe me? Now you do. Okay. थोड़ा और स्क्रॉल अप कर देता हूँ तो आपको दिखेगा. सो आई चेंज दिस. सो मैंने यहाँ से लाइन कॉपी की and I pasted the line, and instead of Anton I changed it to railway. Now we are going to create an A selector. These steps look and feel very fast. We are going very fast indeed. So A, and we'll give it a text decoration. So अच्छा ये नहीं है, ठीक है, text hyphen decoration property, and we'll set it to none, semicolon, and the color. अच्छा तो A tags का color अभी change हो जाएगा to linen. So links will also be in linen. You can see freeCodeCamp is not blue anymore. Decoration none कर दिया, उसका मतलब अभी उसकी underline चली गई. You can see that for yourselves. There was an underline before, now there isn't. Now we go to step 32. Now you are ready to start putting together the grid layout. Excuse me. So now we are going to build a grid. So ये सब थोड़ा और अच्छा दिखे, cute दिखे. क्या बोल रहा है ये? So now we are ready to start putting together the grid layout. CSS Grid offers a two-dimensional grid-based layout, allowing you to center items horizontally and vertically while still retaining control to. Now we're going to learn the CSS Grid finally. अच्छा, so अभी हम लोग main element का selector बनाएंगे और इसको display property देंगे. क्या प्रॉपर्टी देंगे? ग्रिड. हाँ, तो अभी मेन एलिमेंट इतना है, वो एक ग्रिड के अंदर बन गया. आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ दिस इज इनसाइड द ग्रिड. लेट्स फाइंड आउट अगेन. maybe not. Let's find out. So display property is set to grid now. So this is where we will use the CSS grid. Now you can style the layout of your grid. CSS grid is similar to Flexbox. Okay, that puts some relief in that it has a special property for both the parent and child elements. The main is the parent element and the child elements are whatever the elements are inside it. In this case, your parent element is the main element. In this case, set the content to have a 3-column layout by adding a grid template columns property. So that is a new property we are coming across. Grid template columns property with a value of 1 fr. That is new. 94 rems dekha hai. That is huge. What? How did that appear here? 1 fr semicolon. Oh, so the text is over here now. All the sections, interesting. None of it is now here. It's all empty. Okay. So this is that section called main section, I believe. Okay, और इसको हमने क्या किया? 1 fr. Let's find out what this does. Is all of it inside the main element? Let's confirm our doubts. So भाई main कहाँ से शुरू होता है? Main यहाँ से शुरू होता है. Let's check whether main ends below. Probably. अरे बाप रे. Yep, main ends below. So main के अंदर जितने भी elements हैं, child elements, उन सबको उसने columns में बना दिया है. Got it. Okay. We close this. Set the content to have a 3-column layout. So 3-column layout हमने ये बनाया. This must be the first column, then this must be the second column, and this is the third column. Yep, got it. और क्या है? So by adding, so अगर हम grid template columns में ये values डालते हैं तो ऐसा दिखता है. What is fr? Let's find out. So what is, fr versus rem in HTML? Difference between em and rem units? Nope. Fr unit in HTML. That is a unit. Fractional unit, and 1 fr is for one part of the available space. If I were to do this, हाँ ठीक है, तो भी वो एक ही पार्ट में रहता है. तो भाई 1 fractional unit for this, then 94 rems. What if I were to make this also 1 fr? Okay. So then this is 1 fr. Acha. This is also 1 fr. So instead we gave it the space 94 rem. So 94 times this relative, the default space. Okay. This will create 3 columns where the middle column is 94 rem wide and the first and the last column is both one fraction of the remaining space in the grid container. Okay. or if I make this 2, it will be much wider. If it were 1, yeah, I can't see the difference because it refreshed itself, but okay. Now min max, so minimum and maximum function. Such a function. So to make your columns responsive on any device, the minimum maximum function takes 2 arguments. Okay, the first being the minimum value and the second being the maximum. Okay, these values could be length, percentage, fr, or even a keyword like max content. Wrap each of your already defined values in the grid template columns property in a min-max function. Using each value as the second argument. The first argument should be 2 RAM minimum content and 2 RAM respectively. Oh my god. What? I understand what to do, but what? Interesting. That is very interesting. You know what, let's try playing with it. So you want min-max function, so we put the min-max function. The first argument should be, अच्छा अभी हम लोग 2 arguments बनाने वाले हैं, so then this will also be in the first argument. चलो, अरे बाप रे, will this even pass? I wouldn't know. Let me copy this. Okay, I keep saying but I don't know where. फिर से पढ़ते ना, चलो. Write each of your already defined values of the grid template columns. So that was the first value, then that was the second value, and that was the third value. So each of the defined values, तो हर एक को wrap करना है in a minimum maximum function. We did. अच्छा ये min नहीं, अच्छा min max होना चाहिए. Minimum maximum function using each value as the second argument. So yes, the first argument should be this 2 rem minimum content and 2 rem respectively. This is supposed to be no spaces, no commas. Maybe, let's find out. 2 rem minimum content and 2 rem again. So then we don't need the extra brackets. We can continue with this. Okay, so that is the part of first minimum maximum function, with the first argument being 2 rem minimum content, 2 rem and 1 fr, whatever that does. Oh my god. Okay, let's not keep scrolling, that won't make any sense. अभी second argument will be 94 rem. So मैं यहाँ से यहाँ तक ही copy करूँगा. I'll paste it here. Is there a space? Okay, there is a space. यहाँ पे जा, आपको दिख रहा है guys? Nope, आप लोग को नहीं दिख रहा है. Sorry about that. Now I'll move it here and I'll paste it, and you can see this is already automatically the second argument of minimum maximum. And now there's already a space. अभी हम last के लिए argument डाल देते हैं, and 1 fr is the second argument. Okay, let's check whether, before we check our code, let's read the steps again. So use the minimum maximum function, so min max function, to make your columns responsive on any device. Okay, हाँ तो हाँ मैं साइज़ चेंज करूँ तो मिनिमम अलग फ़ोन में और टैबलेट में या फिर लैपटॉप में अलग दिखेगा, डेस्कटॉप में अलग दिखेगा, स्क्रीन पे अलग दिखेगा. यूज़ min max function to make your columns responsive on any device. What happened? Okay, yeah, so use the minimum maximum. Okay, the min max function takes 2 arguments, the first being the minimum value and the second being the maximum. Yep. Okay, these values could be a length, percentage, fr, which is the fraction value, or even a keyword like max content, literally minimum content, max content. Okay, then wrap each of your already defined values. तो हमने 3 values use की थी. for grid template columns. One was 1 FR, then the second was 94 REM, and the third was 1 FR. So all three of them, each of them, हर एक को हमें अलग से minimum maximum function में wrap करना था, वो किया. Grid template columns using each value as the second argument, and each value will be the second argument, and that raises the question for what will be the first argument. So the first argument should be to rem, minimum contact. Okay, so I made a mistake over there. I should not have copied this much. It says respectively, so this will not be a part of the first argument, and then this will not be a part of the first argument, and neither will you be. हाँ, तो इधर भी spacing हटा देते हैं. Yes, and the same goes for this. I was not supposed to do that. यहाँ से मैंने हटा दिया. So respectively 2 REM, minimum content in 94 REM. So that's the minimum and the maximum content size. वे मैं इसको size resize करूँ तो कैसे उसको करेगा? You can see the text being moved, but after one point it does not. फिर वो उसको खुद को adjust नहीं करता. Okay. Let's resize this. Let's open it in a new tab and find out what it looks like here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. उसने wrap कर दिया है text को. What if I zoom out? Then it will reach this point. Afterwards, it will not. Okay. Anyway. Excuse me. I'll zoom in again. Okay. You can close this tab. हाँ, तो ये कर दिया. Let's check whether we made a mistake anywhere. We did. तो ये क्या बता रहा है? Your main selector should have the grid template columns properly set to min-max 2 REM 1 FR, min-max minimum content 94 REM. अच्छा, there shouldn't be any commas. Let's see what happens now. Oh, it looks completely different. And you can see this text is overlapping. Okay, we are good to go for this step. Nope. Okay. Thank you all the two viewers for watching. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Now what does this say? Step 35, to add space between rows in the grid layout, you can use the row gap property. Yes, we do need to add space. Okay, give the main selector, that is this main selector, that is a type selector, a row gap property of 3 REM. So row hyphen gap 3 REM semicolon. Is there any change so far? Nope. Maybe we'll see it later. Your magazine will have 3 primary sections. Okay. Yes, they आते बराबर दिखाओ भाई. You already set the overall layout in the main rule. Yes. Or you can adjust the placement in the child rules. Yes. One option is the grid column property, which is shorthand. That is a shorthand property. Just like with grid column start and grid column end. अच्छा, तो ये grid column. Okay. जैसे width left या फिर padding left, padding bottom, और उसकी जगह padding होता है. So shorthand. The grid column property tells the grid item which grid line to start and end at. Okay. तो भाई हम लोग अभी शुरू कर रहे हैं heading से. So we're going to select a section with the class value heading. ये मैंने एक दो बार practice लिखा था, इसलिए भी याद हो गया है. So I'll write heading curly brackets and set the grid column property to 2 space / space 3. Let's see what happens here. So grid hyphen column, not column, column, and what should this say? So 2 space / space 3 and semicolon, and we can see some change. We can immediately see some change. अरे बाप रे, oh, that has happened, that happened. Okay, or if I make it by 3, I make it 4. Oh, I want to find out. So end यहाँ पे होगा column और start यहाँ पे होगा. So what if I start it at 1? So then it begins at 1. So this must be the first column. Why am I using my hand? You won't see it. So from here till here is the first column. If I write 3, there won't be, you can see that. So we're manipulating the first section with the name heading, so that's why this is the only thing that's moving from left to right. It's going crazy. So this, if I think this is the first column from here till here, where this word, this sentence, this whatever this ends, that's the second column, which has the proper this has the value 94 rem, and this is the third column. So start and end, I see. But if I make this 4, no change. Or if I make this 3, no change. So we can play with this grid column end. But if I make this what it wanted to do, so 2, so now it's here, it's the placement is now it's on the second. Nice. So 2 and the default was 3, so second and third. Okay, and when I put third, you can see that text disappeared. Why am I pointing? Sorry about that. The text here disappeared. Well, it did not disappear, it moved itself to here. That is very cool. I see. So this thing occupies the second and the third column. Now if I write 2 by 2, nothing happens. What if I just write 2? It won't even work because it's not grid column start. Okay, very cool. Command Z, let's make it normal, back to normal. Okay, so that's what it looked like. This will tell the dot heading element to start at grid line 2 and end at grid line 3. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So keeps. Okay, yeah, that happened. Okay, now we go to the next step. Let me. That looks much better. And then we go to the next step. Step 37. Create a dot text selector. Okay. And give it a grid column property set to 2 by 3. यही उठाते हैं ना 2 by 3 है ना. So instead of heading we will make it text selector. So अभी text को move करेगा. So this text will probably start from here. There are so many ways to manipulate text. So and objects. You can see it happened. Okay, very cool. Now they are in one line, but they're still not in the center. But we are finished with this step. For additional control over the layout of a content, you can have a CSS grid within a CSS grid. So now we're going to this TV grid बनाएंगे. Wow. So I'll make it grid. Did anything happen? Nope. But we are good with this step. Nothing changed so far. Maybe we'll do something. Now you can style the content of the dot headings element with CSS grid. Yep, जैसे हमने display value grid रखी तो वो हो जाएगी. Okay. The CSS repeat function is used to repeat a value rather than writing it out manually, and it is helpful for grid layouts. For example, setting the grid template columns property to repeat 20 columns. Repeat 20 times. Would create 20 columns each, 200 pixels wide. That is cool. So हम लोग उसको 2 columns बनाने वाले हैं और वो 2 columns की size 1FR होंगी. Oh, I get it. So ये text को अभी हम लोग 2 columns में divide करने वाले हैं. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Yes. So repeat note. I will copy that to avoid typos and move on to the next step. कुछ नहीं हुआ, हाँ क्योंकि कुछ सिलेक्ट नहीं हुआ. So drag the mouse and then paste it. Semicolon is important to create 2 columns of equal width. कुछ नहीं हुआ क्या? हाँ कुछ हुआ तो सही, ये टेक्स्ट यहाँ पे आ गया. Or if I change this, yep, that appeared and then this appeared. So now this, अच्छा तो इन दोनों के इसके 2 कॉलम्स बन गए इस ग्रिड के अंदर. Yeah, so this is a column and now inside this column we have added 2 more columns. Understand? Very cool indeed. Let me zoom in a little bit. 1 FR यहाँ से और 1 FR यहाँ से. So if you think about it, it is equal. Just because the image is on the left, I don't believe it is equal. Let's zoom in. Yeah, it does look like it. Okay. What are we to do next? So give your heading element a grid template columns property set to. Yeah, we did that. We are good to go to the next step. Give your heading selector a row gap property. So rows के बीच में कितनी gap होनी चाहिए? 1.5 rem semicolon. We can see that. Yeah, we can see that gap now. Just I'll remove it and you can see the gap changes. We can go to the next step. Remember that grid column property determines which columns and element starts and ends at. Yes, start, then कौन से में start होगा और फिर कौन से में end होगा. Yes, there may be times where you are unsure of how many columns your grid will have, but you want an element to stop at the last column. To do this, you can use -1 for the end column. So we'll create a dot hero selector that is for the hero section, which is the hero image, I believe, and we'll give it a grid hyphen column property with value 1 space slash -1. It looks better that way. इसने पूरी जगह ले ली. Very cool. What if I remove this? What if I make it 1? Then that would stay, the text would stay here, but the moment I put it to -1, there's nothing occupying this. All the text will begin from here onwards, so everything will be here. So hero, that's how the hero thing works. Okay. Now what does this say? Remember the grid property. Okay, remember yes, it determines which columns and element starts and ends at. If I were to write to here, तो ये यहाँ पे आ गया. Good stuff. 1. Do this. Okay, so then many times you are not sure of how many columns your grid will have. Okay, but you want an element to stop at the last column. To do this, you can use this for the end. Okay, makes sense. So then in that case, this is not a part of this column, this grid. This grid ends after that. Okay, we have the values डाल दी, and then we can go to the next step. 42. Give the dot hero selector a position property set to relative, तो उसको हम लोग center में ला सकें. So position relative, and we put the colon. Nothing has changed so far because we haven't given it any value, top, left, right, anything. We are back to the index.html file. You should remove the temporary width attribute, yes, which is this, before writing the CSS for your hero image. I agree. अब इसकी size वापस वैसी हो गई. We'll probably give it some viewport height, तो relative रहेगा. उसकी size छोटी बड़ी वो device के viewport के हिसाब से करेगा. Okay, we're going to create an image selector. So we're going to target all the image elements. So it's called a type selector. So give it a width property set to 100%. तो width हमेशा 100% of the viewport रहेगा, so it won't be this big, it will cover exactly the size of the viewport. Okay, only the width, not the height. I don't know what they're going to do with the height. 100%. That is a site. You can see that it covers the whole page despite the fact that it is zoomed in. अभी करें तो हाँ, मतलब वो zoomed in था इसलिए, but you can see इसकी भी width 100% है. Now the thing is that this is inside a column जिसकी value 1fr और ये 94 RE है, so it will never be able to exceed that because this image is set inside the HTML और इसकी कुछ हमने position absolute या relative नहीं रखी है. So now we'll set an object fit property. So object को fit करेंगे as a cover. Okay, tell the browser how to position the element within its container. Okay, in this case cover will set the image to fill the container, cropping as needed to avoid changing the aspect ratio. That's nice. So object hyphen fit and cover semicolon. देखते हैं ना, इसको मैं क्या करूँगा, इसको मैं close करूँगा and open it in the preview. And now freeCodeCamp is here. What if I change object fit cover? Nope, nothing changes. What if I remove the width? And everything changes. ये क्या है, थोड़ा देखना पड़ेगा. Again, we'll set the image to fill the container. जो भी कंटेनर के अंदर ये है, for example, image which container is this in? Sorry, which container is the image in? Hero image ये. It is inside the header. तो ये header को पूरा fill कर देगा. But then we also have more text, so it won't completely fill it. उसकी वो या cover fit कर देगा. Okay, change और उसको वो crop भी कर देगा. Someone's calling for Havya. Yes. So what does this say? Create a hero title and give it a text align property set to color property. तो इसको मैं reuse नहीं कर सकता. I'll have to write it myself. So write hero hyphen title curly brackets and give it a text hyphen align. Someone's calling for Havya. Center semicolon color is for the text of course. तो hero title में जो भी color है उसको हाँ text align कर दिया, तो ये देख सकते हैं ये आ गया. color क्या कहेंगे? So orangered, that is orangered, so ORANGERED. That is a color that is different. Oh sorry, it's not orangered, it's orange red. It is orange red, sorry. So that is orange red. What if I want to make it red? That is red, sorry, that is orange. That is a mixture of orange and red. That is very cool. And that does fit in article. It mixes well with the background color. And now we'll make it the font size property 10 times, so it will probably be when it says 8 rem, so we can multiply 10 pixels to 8 or 10 pixels with 8, so it will make the size 80 pixels. Okay, so remember guys, we changed these settings before in the CSS file, so if you notice, you can see that we changed the font size to 62.5 and the default size for browsers is 16 pixels. Default font size is 16 pixels, so we changed it to 62.5% of 16 pixels, which is 10 pixels. So when I say 8 rem, I am doing the calculation and I am multiplying it by 10. So font size, and I'll write 8 rem, which is the 8 times the regular size, and it says our new curriculum now. Great, that is 80 pixels, and we are good to go to the next step. The subtitle also needs to be styled. This is the subtitle. इसको भी I think हमने कुछ class दिया था. Yep, I can see this class. We're going to, so what does this say? create a hero subtitle selector बनाएंगे and give it a font size property to 2.4 mm, color orange red 2 and text line property to center. इधर से ही उठाते हैं and instead of hero title we'll make it hero subtitle. You can see font size यहाँ पे है, color यहाँ पे है and text line भी यहाँ पे है. I can just change the selector's name and we will be good to go. So hero title को लिखेंगे subtitle. But it should not be 8 rem, it should be 2.4. So that would be what, 24 pixels size, 24 maybe, 40%, yeah 2.4, yes. So that is 24 pixels this size. Great. And this to center and this to orange red. Yep, it looks like an article. Great. We can go to the next step. So step 47, create an .author selector. Okay, create an dot, so that doesn't make sense. Create an author selector. So I suppose we are not supposed to pronounce the dot when saying this. So this is the author. I cannot click on it because then I will have clicked on the link. Anyway, create an author selector and give it a font size property set to rem and a font family property set to railway. Font size, font family, this. Okay. Font size and font family लोग कहाँ से उठा सकते हैं? कहीं पे है font family उठा सकते हैं, but for font size हमें ठीक से खुद लिखना पड़ेगा. No, nothing to worry. वो भी लाइन हम लोग यहाँ से उठा सकते हैं. Paste. Are we also to align it? Nope. Font size भी यहाँ से उठा लेते हैं. Great. It will look weird for now. And it won't look weird for now because we haven't changed anything. So author 2.4 rem की जगह हम लोग 2.42 rem रखेंगे. So that is 20 pixels. And instead of Anton, I will write railway. I could also have copied the text where it said railway, but no matter. So now this is railway. If I click on freeCodeCamp, it is also a no referrer, if you guys remember, and with a fallback of sans serif. And you guys can remember that we also put the fonts in single quotes. And no referrer भी मैंने वीडियो में beginning में समझाया था. मैंने पहली बार समझाया तो मैंने कुछ और समझाया था. In the second time I actually read the thing and मैंने ठीक से पढ़ा तो मुझे मीनिंग समझ आया कि वो एक्चुअली जो मैं समझा रहा था वो बराबर नहीं था. So check out the second explanation for no referrer attribute. And let's move on to step 48. और कुछ डालना है. Let's check first. Author selector डाल दिया. Font size रख दी to rem. Font family रख दी railway with a fallback sans serif. What is a fallback? So fallback is basically अगर आपके ब्राउज़र में railway नहीं है, railway font installed नहीं है, या उसको पता नहीं है railway font को कैसे दिखाते हैं, basically railway font installed नहीं है, तो वो sans serif को दिखाएगा. Fallback. Now, yeah, it looks very cool. अभी I think हम लोग इन सब की size change करने वाले हैं. Nope. Before that we were going to create a pseudo selector. तो भाई author name वाले class में जो इतने भी a tags है, which is only this, उस पे जब हम mouse hover करेंगे तो भाई उसका color change हो जाएगा to this. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, I should have copied the wrong thing. I should have copied this first. Copy that, paste it, and we'll give the background color property this color. So yeah, when I hover over it, the color will change. I see, that is very nice. So the background will light up. Makes sense. So what? So they're explaining what it does. So this will create a hover effect for the a element only for the a element. Yep, बाकी किसी और के लिए नहीं, by के लिए भी नहीं, सिर्फ a element के लिए. Within the author name showing the original freeCodeCamp green in the background. That is nice, and it also contrasts with the dark green color. Very nice. Now create a publish date selector. क्या है? This is the publish date. अभी इसका selector बनाएंगे क्योंकि हमने इसको class दिया था. Publish hyphen date semicolon color, not call row, color, and we'll give it an RGBA function. RGBA is for alpha, so I think we're going to make it 50% transparent looking at the function. Yep, that is exactly what we did. So 0.5 means we made it 50% transparent. We decreased the opacity to 50%. Okay, now we go to step 50. Wow, great progress guys, amazing work. क्या बात है, क्या बात है, very good. अभी तो हम लोग इसको arrange करने वाले हैं ये सब text को. And before that we'll probably resize the icons too. आ गया social icon selector. So we're going to create a social icon selector, give it a display property set to grid and a font size property to 3rem. So 3rem is 30 pixels. So before wasting any time, you can see already हम लोग 84 lines पे आ गए हैं. styles.css में बहुत काम है, and we've only reached the 50th step so far. So what does this say? Curly brackets. Inside these curly brackets we will give it a display property. अच्छा, तो लिखेंगे display, and we're going to use a CSS grid. So I'll write grid. In this we'll write a font size. So font hyphen size colon 3rem, that is 30 pixels, and you can see they are of this size now. जैसे मैंने ग्रिड डाला तो उसने ऑटोमेटिकली सबको रोज में कन्वर्ट कर दिया इंस्टेड ऑफ कॉलम्स. सो आई डोंट नो व्हाई दे डिड इट. मे बी देयर इज अ मीनिंग टू दैट. लेट्स फाइंड आउट. Before I continue with this step, give me a 5 minutes. I will be back. I will just fetch myself some water and you guys can enjoy the music. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. Now I am completely I have replenished my I've quenched my thirst, and we can continue with the freeCodeCamp step 51. Okay, I'll just reset. Okay, now we are on step 51. So far we have set it up this way. Okay, and you can see what happened here. This image was resized immediately. Okay, what will this do now? So the default settings for CSS grid will create additional rows as needed, unlike Flexbox. हाँ, तो उसने additional rows बना दिए. I can see these additional rows as needed, like unlike Flexbox. Give the social icon selector this is the selector, a grid template columns property, and set to repeat 5. तो भाई 5 बार एक fractional unit ले ले. Okay, so quickly write grid hyphen template hyphen columns and we'll write repeat in repeat function. ms ने columns है, repeat 5 times comma space 1 fr. 1 fr, तो उसने उसको evenly भी space कर दिया. That is very good. But if I write 2 fr, 23 would be too much. So there's no difference. Okay. But if I write 0.1 fr, they're close. If I were to write 0 fr, they would be sticking to each other. 0.1, nope, no change. 0.8, there would be some change. Got it. Anyway, we are going with 1 fr and we are good to go to the next step. Now we are on step 52. If you wanted to add more social icons, what if I do this? ये text wrap हो जाएगा? Yes, हो जाएगा. So let me open it in this then. Preview. Okay. Great. If you wanted to add more social icons but keep them on the same row, you would need to update grid template columns to create additional columns. Yes, makes sense. As an alternative, you can use the grid autoflow property. अच्छा, तो अगर हमें numbers change नहीं करना हो, जितने भी मैं add करते जाऊँ वो automatically दिखने ही लगे, तो उसके लिए हम क्या करेंगे? So we'll use grid autoflow property. I'll copy this. We're probably going to do something with grid autoflow property. This property takes either row or column as the first value. In this case, a row. Well, these are columns in a row. Columns as the first value with an optional second value of dense. Okay. Grid autoflow. Uses grid autoflow uses an auto placement algorithm to adjust the grid layout. अच्छा, तो अपने आप कर देगा. Setting it to column will tell the algorithm to create new columns for content as needed. बनाता जाएगा. The dense value allows the algorithm to backtrack and fill holes in the grid with smaller items, which can result in items appearing out of order. For your social icon selector, set the grid autoflow property to column. तो इसको तो रखेंगे I think, but we will also add the grid for column. Maybe not. Let's find out. Yes, you guys can see that. इसको रखा है, उससे कुछ change होता है? Yup. No change because we haven't added any other icons yet. Now the auto placement algorithm will kick in when you add a new icon element. However, the algorithm defaults the new column width to be auto. Okay. So column width auto. So this, which will not match your current columns. You can override this with the grid auto columns property. So auto flow की तरह auto columns भी है. Give it a selector. It gives this selector a grid auto columns property and set to 1 fr for real. Okay, so 1 fr, and instead of auto flow I will write auto columns. No changes so far because we haven't added any other. तो अगर हम लोग एक और आइकॉन डालते तो ऑटोमेटिकली हो जाता. now on to step 54. Much like Flexbox, with CSS Grid you can align the content of grid items with align items and justify items. Okay, align items will align child elements along the column axis. अच्छा, तो हम लोग इसको भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं. Align items will and justify items will align child elements along the row axis. Give the social icon selectors and align items property set to center. We're not going to do something with the justify. We're going to do something with align items. So align hyphen items to center. Any change? Which move to हुआ नहीं? हुआ. Yep. To jump to. Yes, they moved up. And now they are in the center. Make sense? So give the text selector a font size property to 1.8. That would be what, 18 more pixels, and a letter spacing property set to 0.6 pixels. That is specific, so देखते हैं क्या होता है इससे. Font size 1.8 rem semicolon, इसको भी colon डालना था, and letter spacing set to 0.6 pixels. And you can see here the text has increased its size and the spacing has changed. Yep, the spacing has changed very much. So your dot text element is not a CSS grid because we haven't given it the display property value of display, grid. But you can create columns within an element without using grid by using column with property. अच्छा, तो हमें CSS grid की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है अगर हमें grids यूज़ करनी हो तो. Are we live? Let me just check my YouTube live. We are live indeed. We have 2 viewers. Great. Thank you so much for watching, guys. So now we don't need grid to make columns. We can also use column with property. Okay, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक copy, and we paste that, and we give this property a value of 25 rem. That is huge. अच्छा, तो उसने 25 rem की 3 बना दी. Nice. Now we're going to probably target this, और इसको कुछ कलर वलर देंगे, उसकी साइजेस बढ़ाएंगे. I think. Nice. Magazines often use justified text. Yes, we did come across justified before. This text looks weird. I think we're going to use justify to do something to it so that it looks less weird. Magazine में जैसे text को justify किया जाता है. So, okay, magazines often use justified text in their printed content to structure the layout and control the flow of their content. Yes, while this works in printed form, justified text on websites can be an accessibility concern, for example, presenting challenges for folks with dyslexia. What is dyslexia? So let's find out. So dyslexia. So dyslexia is a learning disorder that involves difficulty reading due to problems identifying speech sounds and learning how they relate to letters and words, also called a reading disability. उनको पढ़ने में तकलीफ होती है. Dyslexia is a result of individual differences in areas of the brain that process language. So we can also look at this image here. So I think they are referring to a normal brain or a more functional brain than a person with dyslexia. They will see text as A, A, D, D, B, A, B, B, C, D and whatever, and they will look at all the text as something gibberish. So maybe that's what the difference they are giving us is. So a person with dyslexia will have difficulty reading the text. तो इसकी वजह से justified content usually लोग avoid करते हैं, except for magazines. Does that mean magazines? There must be some reason why just magazines try to show their layout that way, structure their layout that way. While this works in printed form, justified text on website can be an accessibility concern. Yes, to make your project look like a printed magazine, because you're trying to make it look like a printed magazine and not like a web page, like a blog, for example, we're going to set the text align property to justify. So text hyphen align to justify. The moment I make it justify, you can see the spacing. The spacing between these two words is, well, these three words is weird, and then this spacing is different. This spacing is different. This spacing is different. So ये भी है. Then this is different. Very weird. This is, yeah. So well, it looks weird, but so now it is inside one box. अभी एक ही column के अंदर ये सारा text है. If you think about it. So it's justified. So that's what justified does. This is one P element, this is another P element, this is another P element, that is another P element, that is on. So I think that's a horizontal rule, and that is also a P element. Anyway, और scroll करते हैं. इसको भी इसने justified कर दिया. अरे बाप रे, इनको भी उसने columns में डाल दिया है. This image looks really weird. This all image also looks really weird. Let's see. Okay, we go, yeah, we've given it the justify value, and we go to the next step, step 58. So the first letter pseudo selector. So now we're going to use pseudo selectors. The first letter pseudo selector allows you to target the first letter in the text content of an element. Yes, we came across these before in the W3 School's website. ये पहली बार हम लोग फ्री कोड कैंप में पढ़ रहे हैं, बट ये भी पढ़ा था when we were reading about pseudo selectors. So okay, तो आई थिंक पहले जो भी क्लास का नाम है, जो भी ID selector है, जो भी नाम है, उनको रख देंगे, and then we'll use this first letter. Let's read further. So targets the first letter in the text content. अच्छा, हाँ, क्योंकि कुछ आर्टिकल्स में जैसे कि ये soon है, तो this soon will be extremely large. जब soon में से letter S will be extremely large. We have seen that in newspapers and in magazines. So that's what we're going to use so that we can make changes to it. So let's paste that. So ये क्या कर रहा है? तो ये first paragraph class में जो फर्स्ट लेटर है, जो भी P होगा, जो भी फर्स्ट लेटर है, उसको वो टारगेट करेगा. एंड नाउ कर्ली ब्रैकेट्स इनसाइड दिस विल गिव इट ए फॉन्ट साइज प्रॉपर्टी to 6 rem. It is big, 6 times, so the size is 60 pixels now, and this was 94 maybe something. This also had a bigger size, but this is smaller, so this is relatively smaller. And 6 rem, also give it a color property of orange red, the same as this. So color, not color, sorry, color, color, and we'll give it a color value of orange red. And you can see that the letter S is now orange red. Only the letter S. Is it the same for every? Nope, it's only for the beginning of the article. Okay. The other text has been shifted out of place. That is true. You can see this has been shifted out of place. That does look very weird. So move it into position by giving the first paragraph first letter selector a float. We are already in the first paragraph. First selector a float property. Float property, तो float करेगा left. So let's see what that will do. So float left. अच्छा, तो left में float करेगा और उसके बाद जो भी text है वो सब आएगा. But that also doesn't look very weird. and margin right property set to 1 rem, which is 10 pixels. So margin hyphen right set to 1 rem, not 12 rem, that would look weird. Okay, that is 1 rem soon, and we are good to go to the next step. Now we are on step 60. Create an HR selector. Horizontal rule को भी हम edit करने वाले हैं. HR is a type selector because we haven't mentioned it as a class anywhere, and for type selectors we don't put a dot hash anything before the name of the element. Okay, so give it a margin property. इसको margin देंगे 1.5 rem, which is 15 pixels. Yes, 15 pixels it is. If I write 15 rem, so then the space would increase, and they have become dots. Yeah, why? Because we haven't mentioned the margin top and right property. We've only mentioned the margin property. So वो हर एक साइड से वो 1.5 15 pixels चेंज करेगा. You can see यहाँ से भी वो 1.5 उसने values चेंज की. So if I were to remove it, you would see it. Yeah, तो ये पूरा horizontal rule था. अभी उसकी top, bottom, right, left चारों साइड से उसने margin set कर दिया. Yep. What am I doing? अच्छा 1.5 rem. So सिर्फ top and bottom से करना है, left right से नहीं करना है. So then it looks like this. Okay, that also looks good, and we notice this type of layout in a magazine. Indeed we do, and we did all of this using HTML and CSS. Wow. So now we'll give the HR, the horizontal rule, a color. Now you can see that HR is not an element that includes text, or is text itself. वो कुछ टेक्स्ट मैनिपुलेट नहीं करता है, वो एक लाइन को मैनिपुलेट करता है. तो जब मैं कलर वैल्यू दूंगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो उसका कलर चेंज कर देगा. जस्ट द बॉर्डर प्रॉपर्टी. आई सी. तो हम लोग बॉर्डर से चेंज करेंगे. वी कांट यूज कलर. मैं कुछ भी बोल रहा था, सॉरी. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस वी राइट बॉर्डर. अच्छा, बॉर्डर के साथ खेलेंगे. बॉर्डर को हम लोग first is this. So this is the thickness. So 1 pixel is the thickness. You can see. अरे बाप रे, तो गायब हो गया. Yeah, we have to give it more arguments. We also make it solid. It's not gayab, but you can see now it's 1 pixel. Before it was not 1 pixel. You can see for yourselves. पहले थोड़ा थिकर था, अभी हमने उसको थोड़ा थिनर कर दिया है, थोड़ा थिन कर दिया है. Now we pass the RGBA function, which will also manipulate its opacity. RGBA stands for red, green, blue, alpha. So 120 red, then 120 green, and 120 blue. Which will make it a shade of gray, and वो 60% opacity. So it will look like this exactly. Great. Now we'll probably manipulate the text inside the HR selector. उसका भी कुछ क्लास वास दिया था. हाँ, quote क्लास दिया था. So अभी quote को .qote. I think we wrote it in block quote. Doesn't matter. And we'll give it a color property to this, and font size property to this, and text align. ये कहीं पे है, color है, font align है. हाँ ठीक है, text align लिख लेंगे. Font size and color property यहाँ से मैं copy करके paste कर दूँगा, and I will change the colors and the sizes to my liking. You can see this looks very, कुछ ज़्यादा ही weird लग रहा है, क्योंकि ये दो words, and you can see these are more words. So instead of 6 rem, I'll write 2.4 rem. That also looks weird. I think because we've applied justified, justify to it, and we'll change the color from orange red to 00 beef. So it's not 00 beef, it's 00 BE and EF, and that is a closer, it's a cousin of cyan. Anyway, and we change the font size. Now we will also align it, the text, to center. So it is justified, but now the text is in center. Wow. Now to make the quote text stand out more, give the quote selector a font family property to make the quote text stand out more. अच्छा, और भी stand out. I think उसमें पीछे double quotes और आगे double quotes डालेंगे. Sent to railway with a fallback of sans serif. तो रेलवे उठाते, रेलवे कहाँ पे होगा? This is that font family. यहाँ पे रख देते हैं. So this font is different, this font is different. So automatically हमारा ध्यान उस पे जाएगा ही, because they are two different things. A quote is not really a quote without proper quotation marks. You can add these with CSS pseudo selectors. Pseudo selectors हमने before और after के बारे में समझा है. Before and after. So before is the first child element, after is the last child element. Sorry, no. Yeah, that is for something else. Before is to add something before a text, before anything, and after is उसके बाद कुछ भी डालना हो तो. We understood that selector with the quiz, the HTML CSS quiz. Make sure to check it out for yourselves. So क्या बता रहा है? The code is not really a code without proper quotation marks. Yes, you can add these with CSS pseudo selectors. Yes, that's just exactly what I was thinking of. So we'll use before and after. इसके अंदर ही क्यों नहीं डाल देते? हाँ, let's see. What if I do it that way? इसको and quote after. उन दोनों को मैं लिस्ट बना दूँ तो क्या होगा? That is some addictive music, guys. So property to this, this एक और अंदर, and अच्छा space भी है and simple. हाँ, but उसमें space preceding होगा. Unfortunately we won't be able to do this. So yeah, इसको cut कर देते हैं. Quote after, yes. हाँ, इसमें फिर डबल कोट से कैसे करेंगे? Do I only mention this? That would also look weird. I should use single quotes. अरे यार, single quotes और इसके अंदर डबल कोट एक डाल दिया. That works. Yes. I'll also do the same thing for this. I'll put a space before, and we can immediately see the difference. We are good to go to the next step. 64. Do not worry, guys. 88 क्या कर लेंगे. 65 तो पहुंच गए. अभी सिर्फ 16 steps बाकी है. 60. Yep, 16 steps ही बाकी है. You can see that. Do not fret. Now it's time to style your third section, which is this. अरे बाप रे, ये तो बहुत बड़ा है. Third section is a brief history and these images. These quotes. Note that it has the text and text with images values for the class of attribute. which means it is already inheriting styles from your .text rule. Yes, it is. Create a text with images selector and set the display property to grid. अभी हम लोग CSS grid के वापस जाएंगे, के साथ वापस जाएंगे. So .text and in the curly bracket, oh sorry, text with images. That is the worst way. Images, text with images. Inside this we'll set a display property to grid. Let's open the preview here so that we can have a better look. Yep, इसे grid डाला तो ये सारे images नीचे आ गए. Before they weren't here. How do I know? I just do. So now we have created another grid for text with images. We can go to the next step now. You need to have a column for text and a column for images. Text for अच्छा तो अभी और columns बनाएंगे. हम लोग कितने कॉलम्स बनाएंगे? 2 कॉलम्स बनाएंगे और वो दोनों की वैल्यू ये होगी 1 FR 2 FR for real, FR and 2 FR semicolon. If you scroll down we can see that this is 1 FR and this is 2 FR. इसको probably हम लोग थोड़ा margin देंगे, padding भी देंगे तो थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा. Then it's not stuck to the text. The text is not stuck to the image. Also set the column gap. So we're going to use the column gap property instead of padding or margin. That is also good. So column, we're going to use 3 rem, that is 30 pixels. So 3 rem semicolon. क्यों नहीं हुआ? हाँ नहीं, उसको refresh करना पड़ता है हमेशा. Yep, there is no space yet, maybe because it's supposed to be column gap and not column. Yep, 30 pixels की space उसने डाल दी. Next, now give the text with images selector a margin bottom property. So margin bottom property colon and we'll give it 3 rem 30 pixels. फिर से चाहिए यार, ये तो refresh करता रहता है खुद को. क्या है? सो मार्जिन बॉटम. कौन सा मार्जिन, कैसा मार्जिन? लेट्स चेंज दिस. व्हाट चेंज्ड? yes, so we added some margin to the bottom which is 30 pixels. Makes sense. Now we are on step 68. So create a dot list selector, that is a class selector. इसके अंदर डालेंगे set the list style type property to none. List style type. अच्छा, उसमें कुछ स्टाइल वाइल नहीं डाल रही है. What kind of style? Let's see. So none. This keeps refreshing itself, so I can't go to the end of the page. So what did it manipulate? It manipulated the lists. This is the list. अभी उसने list style type हटा दी. पहले क्या थी? Bullet points हटा दिए. So we remove the bullet points using list style type none. Great. And I also could have read the step. It said this also removes bullet points. Okay, now we are still in the list selector and we write margin hyphen top property to 2rem to, that is 20 pixels. किसकी? So list की. भाई list में दिखाओ margin top. Done. Oh, so this must be the unordered list class. हाँ, क्योंकि उसने हर एक list item को नहीं change किया. Yep. Now we are on step 70. Create a list. So list, that is unordered list वाले class के अंदर जो भी list items है, elements है जिनका नाम list है, li है, उनको टारगेट करेंगे. सो I'll write list space li. How? Because there is no space, there is no comma, so it's not a list, but it is, we are targeting a list. Very confusing, but it is not very confusing if you are paying attention. So rule to target the list items within your dot list element. Yep, give it a margin bottom property set to 1.5 rem. तो भी उनका स्पेसिंग देखेंगे. तो इसके नीचे का स्पेसिंग, इसके नीचे का स्पेसिंग, इसके नीचे का स्पेसिंग, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. ओके, सो मार्जिन बॉटम, not margin bottom to 1.5 rem, which is 15 pixels rem. Why is there no space? Yeah, must be because of a mistake. Let's see क्या गलती की. So let's read this again. अच्छा, list नहीं है, lists है, and we can see the effect now. Yes, what with the hint से you should have this selector. So उसको पता चल गया अभी हमने wrong selector को target किया था. Yep. Only 10 more steps to go, guys. We are almost there. Our article, our magazine is almost ready. I think अभी हम लोग image के spacing में ध्यान देंगे थोड़ा, and this will probably be a part of the column. So अभी हम लोग एक list selector बनेंगे, selector list बनाएंगे. selector list के अंदर क्या क्या करेंगे? target, so list title and list subtitle को target करेंगे. तो क्या है list title and list subtitle? So if you think this is the list title and this is the list subtitle, I think, let's find out. I could be wrong. So we'll change the color. So change the color of the text to 00 beef, 00BEEF. Okay, so this only targeted the list title and the list subtitle. Acha, so this is the title and this is the list subtitle. So this is probably H3 and this is probably H4. Yes. Let me zoom in for you guys. Yes. So this is H3 probably and this is H4. Now create a list. ये सब कर दिया, ये सब size भी दे दी. You can see this has more color now. All of this is in the center now. और ये पूरा page. This is the hero image. Then we have our new curriculum. This is what the article is. ये सब पढ़ सकते हैं. Brief history. Oh, sorry. Brief history, curriculum. We'll add some spacing to these two images probably. And we can also see justify. Okay. We go to the next step now. Time to style the last section of the magazine, the images. These are the images. Now we are going to style them. The images are wrapped in an aside element. Beside wala joke, guys. I am beside myself with joy. Okay, so aside element using the image wrapper class. Okay. Acha, image wrapper class. So create an image wrapper selector, set the display property to grid. Okay, so image hyphen wrapper curly bracket. Now unfortunately this is not a type selector, so we have to make it a class selector. And we will set the display to grid. जैसे grid बनाएंगे इसमें सब शुरू हो जाएगा. मतलब अभी नहीं, थोड़ी देर बाद. As in थोड़ी steps बाद. The images should be within a 2 column 3 row layout. 2 column 3 row. Okay. So for that we will give it grid template columns and grid template rows property. चलो वो देते हैं. So semicolon भी दे देता तो फिर ये चिल्लाएगा नहीं. उसको values भी देनी पड़ेगी. Fine. So grid template columns to 2 FR and 1 FR. So this will be the first column with the size 2 FR and this will be the second column with the size 1 FR. Fractional size. Paste rows property set to repeat. The way 3 रोज बनानी है और उनकी साइज होगी मिनिमम कंटेंट, and we're using the repeat function. Or if we scroll down, you can see that we have 2 columns and 1, 2 and 3 rows. This is a part of the second column and also a part of the 2 rows, the second and the third row. Okay, let's see. But columns that remain a fixed width based on the container. हाँ, fixed width है, वो तो हमने देखा यहाँ पे. हाँ, सबकी fixed width हो गई है. So now we're going to use a gap property. We came across row gap before, we came across column gap before. So the gap property is a shorthand way to set the value of column gap and row gap at the same time, just like padding, margin, and now gap, and many more which I can't remember the name of. Okay, so column gap and row gap at the same time. If given one value, it sets the column gap and row gap both to that value. Yes. Yeah, we have been using that with margin. हमने वो figure out करने में बहुत time spend किया था, but now that we understand it, it is much easier to understand the rest of the properties. So gap, क्या करना है? If given 2 values, it sets the row gap to the first value in the column gap. So first will be the row and second will be the column. So हम लोग दोनों row और column को देंगे 20 pixels का size. We can see the gap, row and column 2 pixels, and we can experiment with it if we like. So ये row gap है, keep your eyes and ears open. So ये rows के बीच की gap, ये दोनों rows के बीच की gap है, and keep your eyes over here. मैं जैसे ही tab change करूँगा तो ये gap change हो जाएगी. So you know what, I can keep the preview over here too for you guys to see. हाँ, यहाँ पे भी आपको दिखेगा. यहाँ पे ही करते हैं, चलो. So 2 rem and this will be 1 rem. You can see the size changed. The distance between the columns changed, and now it widened. Now we can go to the 75th step. Place items property. Literally align करने के लिए. कि इसको ऐसे place करो. Can be used to set the align items and justify values at the same time. I see. Nice. So that is probably a shorthand. So place items can be used to set. Okay, the place items property takes 1 or 2 values. अगर एक value डाली तो वो दोनों को same रखेगा. अगर 2 डाली तो फिर first will probably be align items and second will be justify items. If 2 values are provided, the first is used for the align items, yes, and the second value is used for the justify items. Yep. Okay. So what will we do? So जैसे हमने यहाँ पे 2 and 1, this is for row and this is for columns. The same way, we're going to add a property. Okay, yeah, we have 2 viewers. Thank you so much for joining in. Wow. Okay, so what does this say? The place items property can be used to set the align items. Okay. तो डालते हैं place items, not place. Oh my god, that is a huge typo. I'll rewrite it. Place hyphen items colon, and we're going to set it to center. तो justify और align दोनों एक साथ कर देगा. And now the text now the items inside the rows and the columns are in the center. Okay. Now we are on step 76. Only 5 more steps to go. Don't worry, guys. जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगा. Now what does this say? So create an image 1, image 3 rule. So हम लोग अभी select a list बनाएंगे of these two and give it a grid column property set to 1 and -1. So I think ये पूरी एक जगह ले लेगा और ये एक पूरी जगह ले लेगा. So this will stay in these two will stay in the first column. I see. Grid column 1 space /-1 semicolon. Yep, so that happened. First image ने एक पूरी column ले ली, and this also took the first column. Well, not the first column, one column. And these two guys are stuck in here. What if I resize it? इसका width change होगा. Yep, it looks much better. What if I opened it in another tab? Click on it after every time. You can see this image, then this image. It is aligned nicely. The text is also aligned nicely, and this image is at the bottom. That is a nicely put magazine, article, page, whatever you want to call it. I have to keep clicking on it to scroll up and down. Something must be the case. And even if I want to use the page up and page down button, I have to click on the web page first before I go. Before I do anything, must be something. Okay, now ये कर दिया. अभी grid column के बाद हाँ ये सब कर दिया. What if I change this to row? Let's find out. So now they are both in one row. जितना ये एक रो के अंदर जा सकता है वो चला गया. उसने उसकी width को crop कर दिया, image को crop कर दिया. Now we are only 4 steps away to completing this project. Now that the magazine layout is finished, you need to make it responsive. Responsive मतलब phone में अलग-अलग viewport में अलग-अलग दिखना चाहिए. So now we're going to use the media query. Yes, minimum width, maximum width. So alright, at media पहले पढ़ लेते हैं क्या बोल रहा है ये. So now that the magazine layout is finished, you need to make it responsive. So we are finished with the layout. Now we're going to edit the width and for different screens, different mobile, different devices, different viewports, we're going to do stuff. So add media query for only screen for only screen. Only screen, what does that mean? What? Okay. Max width. Let's edit this first. So max -w width. It will be 720 pixels. No rems here and no semicolons in here. इसके अंदर only and screen करेंगे. Wait, what does that mean? Start with the media query for only screen. What does that mean? We don't have any classes only screen. That is the first time I'm coming across this. You know what? We'll use the hint for this. I do not understand. Image wrapper. Give it a grid template. So grid copy. One FR. This will collapse the 3 images into one column on smaller screens. You know what? Let's find out. I will resize this. Now this is a very small screen. If I scroll down, ये सब एक text and इसमें आ गया. हाँ, एक line में text आ गया. I can see that. And if we go to the image wrapper, into one column. हाँ, एक कॉलम बना दिया उसने स्क्रीन को जैसे रीसाइज किया तो. Yep. Okay. The moment I click on this, that will stay on top. Nice. So this is probably the same thing with this. So if I open the preview here and resize it, it will also yield the same result. हाँ, सब एक कॉलम में आ गए. Okay, 1 FR. What if I make it 2 FR? हाँ तो इसे मूव कर दिया. टेम्पलेट कॉलम्स 2 FR कर दिया. साइज 2 FR कर दिया. Anyway, this will collapse the 3 images into one column on smaller screens. Yep. But I don't understand. For only screen, what does this mean? And where do I mention it? let's find out. Let's press command enter and see where do we mention it. So rule for only screen and we're supposed to use an and operator and only screen. Okay, that is new for me. I don't remember only screen as a class anywhere or an ID anywhere. We have to find out what this means, but before that I'll press paste and I'll write and. So we have the and operator. Let's find out what does that mean. So only screen in CSS rule, add media rule, only screen and max width. We can see literally it's the same thing. क्या करता है ये? Yeah, that won't help us. We'll have to read the definition. Add media rule ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Syntax भी ठीक है. Examples भी ठीक है. We have to go to proper values a little bit. अरे बाप रे, अरे बाप रे. I cannot try it myself, can I? I can try it myself. What if I want to look at the properties? What? Max block size property? Nope. You know what? I'm going to search for this only screen thing. So ONLY SEREN. The media queries can also be used to change layout of page demand depending on the orientation of the browser. You can have a set of CSS properties that will only apply when the browser window is wider than its height. So a so-called landscape orientation. Use a light blue background color if the orientation is in landscape mode. What is the orientation? Now let's also look for another meaning. So what does this do? What will it look like without only screen? No change so much, so I think we'll have to Google and read more. इसमें पढ़ते पहले. Width and height of viewport, width and height of the device, orientation and resolution. How is it useful for only screen? Is that for height of the device, screen? Let's find out. So only screen in CSS again. What does only screen mean? CSS, that is a Stack Overflow question. That Stack Overflow is also a common website for people to ask tech related questions, coding related questions. So in the above code, screen is saying for a screen. Okay, the only keyword is, so let's read the highlighted text first. The only keyword is used to prevent older browsers that do not support media queries. Acha, that is understood, that do not support media queries with media features from applying the specific styles. अच्छा, तो कोई deprecated browser को यूज़ कर रहा है, या कोई ऐसी, या older browsers शायद किसी ने वर्जन चेंज नहीं किया, या फिर उनका मोबाइल इतना पुराना हो चुका है कि उनका वर्जन अपडेट कर ही नहीं सकते. That do not support media queries with media features from applying the specified styles. तो उन पे वो अप्लाई नहीं होंगे ये rules. That's why we're using the and operator. So max width and only screen. Got it? Only 3 steps left. Create another media query for only screen with a max width. तो इसमें and अच्छा, okay. I can copy this. It's literally the same thing, but now instead of where it says max width 720, it will be 600. Copy this, and there will be meaning. This will collapse your bottom text area into a single column on smaller screen. Bottom text area, yeah. So when it's not 720, it is 600, not 6000. It will collapse into a single column. Well, it still is in a single column anyway. What are you talking about? Let's read this again. Maybe it will make more sense. हम लोग text with, अच्छा, text wrapper की जगह भी हम लोग text with images को करने वाले हैं. So text -with -images. अच्छा, हाँ तो वो इमेजेस नीचे चले जाएंगे, दिल गो टू द रैप। पर अगर मैं इसको ये करूँगा, yep, I can see the difference. The text will be on top, and if we change the width from if it's 600 or less, the images will go to the next column, will go into a single column. Yep, okay, we are good to go. Now we are on step 79. So what does this say? Create a third media query, उठा ही लेते हैं ना, for only screen with a max width of 550 pixels. 550 pixels. What will we, अरे बाप रे, so we're going to edit a few things. ठीक है, आते हैं ना. So hero title selector, we will reuse this of course. Tag, tab. So क्या देंगे? So font size. Oh, so based on the viewport size, it will also manipulate the size. So font size is set to 6 rem, 6 times the text, if the max width is less than 600. तो खुद को छोटा कर देगा, इसको hero title को वो decrease करेगा. Yep, you can see that. You can see it is increasing its size and decreasing its size. 6 rem कर दिया उसने. Great. Now then another list, a selector list inside this media. Selector list में क्या करेंगे तो वही देखते हैं. चलो पहले हीरो सब टाइटल से लेके लिस्ट टाइटल का selector बनाएंगे. So instead of hero title, can you guys see that? Yes. Instead of hero title, I will make it a list. So hero subtitle, author, quote, list title. अभी उसकी font size वो क्या रखेंगे तो we'll make it 1.8 rem. So that will also, yep, exactly. That will also increase or decrease its size based on the viewport height and width. Sorry, only the viewport width. Okay. And a social icons selector. So I think हमने वो फिर से copy करके रखते हैं. We're going to set the size. Social icons. Keep your eyes here, focused here. अच्छा तो width उसकी change होगी तो icons भी छोटे दिखेंगे. एक इस पे, हाँ ये बराबर है. Now instead of hero title, it will be font. It will be social icons. इसमें font size होगा 2 rem. So social icons. Icons maybe. Instead of 6, it will be 2 rem. So if we resize this, the size of the social icons will increase. The best way to find out it is using this. हम इसको scale करेंगे तो icons की भी size छोटी हो गई. But this is kind of different. This is resizing. This is scaling. So it won't make much sense. We should keep it in the preview. Preview में अगर आगे पीछे करते तो वो दिख जाता है, वो फ़र्क समझ आ जाता है. Okay. And we finally add a text selector. हाँ तो जितना भी टेक्स्ट होगा वो सब की वैल्यू वो 1.6 rem कर देगा. So it will decrease the size of the text. अरे बाप रे, whatever happened here? अच्छा, spacing is weird. Let me just take care of the spacing please. ये spacing बराबर है. Nope. Maybe. Oh sorry. Hero title की जगह भी ये बन जाएगा text. Only text, not texts. Right? Text selector with the font size 1.6 rem. So 1.6. देखते हैं अभी टेक्स्ट की साइज छोटी होती है कि नहीं. Yup, 1.6. And now here it's nope. Maybe not this text. Maybe this text. हाँ इस टेक्स्ट की साइज़ इंक्रीज़ हो रही है एंड बिकॉज इट्स यूजिंग जस्टिफाई. ये क्या है? अरे बाप, that is very cool. So now it has become 2 columns and now it's 1 column. Good. And I think we are done. That is an unnecessary curly bracket. और क्या है? I think we are done with this step. We are not. You should have a new media query for only screen with max with 550. हाँ तो ये भी change करना है. The size changes until this point, whatever the value of this is. तो phone में वो text वैसा दिखेगा. We are good to go. Now we are on the last step, final step guys, almost done. It took us 3.5 hours but we are great at doing this. So media फिर से ठीक है, चलो we'll type this. एक ही last step है. Only screen with a max width, so max hyphen width. अच्छा, only screen के बाद and भी and operator को भी यूज़ करना पड़ता है, logical operator. Max width set to 420 pixels. Then curly brackets. Inside the curly brackets we will create a class selector called hero, hero hyphen title. We'll give it a curly bracket. अभी curly bracket के अंदर font size will be set to 4.5 rem. अच्छा, और छोटा, अगर छोटा करेंगे तो टेक्स्ट की साइज और छोटी होगी. 420 या 420 is the limit so far. Semicolon. What is this? That's for the hero title. This is the hero title. तो उसकी साइज चेंज होती है. हाँ, okay, we are done. Nice, we are done for this project. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining this live video. We are done with this project. Just a second. We are done with this project. Let me go to the anchor. Great. So we are done with this project and thank you so much for watching. And if you guys like our videos, if you guys like my live videos, then please show your support. Show us some love through Patreon, through UPI IDs. अगर आपको कुछ भी अच्छा लगता है, कुछ भी समझ आता है जो आपको लगता है कि support करने जैसा है, तो please feel free to support. And with that, let me end this live video and I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you. Well, I'll see you guys on Monday at 10 a.m. and on Monday we will learn more of CSS, more of HTML, and we will also go through all the certification projects. That will also probably take maybe 2 or 3 more days. Yeah, but by then we will have our responsive web design certificate. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Ciao.